You don't want to do no introduction? You good?
Yeah, man, this is cool. Part two, y'all. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We are back. We have Elder Yara, GD and Capone, Tahuti, and King J. Humble Mystic will be back up shortly. Back to you, gentlemen.
Yeah, I was just saying that. I was asking the brother Tahuti what evidence that he got that he had that the word he that the Hebrews is made up, right?
What do you
Because you
mean
said,
what? So
wait, hold on, because you said that when um that's really a ignorance. That's something you shouldn't say that, bro, because we know that the word Hebrew is English and it's really a transliteration from a archaic word that we find in the second millennium BCE. We already found the linguistic match, so you can't run from it. So go ahead.
okay, so that's real convenient for somebody who identifies as a Hebrew to say or believes in the Bible. Second, like you can see all kind of parallels with Greek mythology and the Hebrew Bible or the Old Testament, whichever one you want to call it. The first one is obviously you have Pandora's box is parallel to Eve taking the apple, biting the apple, and you know what I'm saying, releasing all the curses. In Pandora's box, when she opens the box, she releases the curses.
That ain't what
Zion
I asked
creates a
you, bro.
flood. What?
That ain't what I asked you. You going into some whole religion stuff. I'm saying,
Well, I'm telling
what
you
evidence?
how this is the evidence. You asked me for evidence of how
Yeah.
the Hebrews were made up, and I'm telling you, you look at all their stories, all your traditions, and they match. They're parallel to Greek mythology, i.e., Pandora's box. Zeus had a flood, and one of the other guys built the ark or had a boat, right? Let me look this guy's name up because I don't know it by heart, but you have a lot of parallels within Greek mythology. And then you have all types of evidence that when the Greeks went in to learn about things, with whether it be philosophy, natural sciences, whatever you want to call it, that's when they created their own mythology, and then they created the all these stories that developed into the Old Testament or the Hebrew Bible.
You done? So, um, I guess you're not familiar with the Maccabean War. Do you have any recognition of the Maccabean War?
Of course, but go ahead and just talk about it
Okay, during the
since like it's
Maccabean
your turn
War,
to talk.
the Greeks conquered the Hebrews, and and during that period of time, the Hebrews rebelled against the Greeks. So right there, that shows that's two distinct nations. So who is these
All right,
people?
one
Who
point
is
at a
these
time though.
Hebrew
Let's do
people?
one point
No,
at a
hold on.
time. One
Let me
point at a
finish, bro.
time.
Let me finish, bro. So you had the Maccabees, right? And we have is even artifacts even before then, but the Maccabees and before them, when the linguistic match that I was talking about, before you even say that this is made up, because you're talking about the Greek language and all this other stuff. The Greek language is the Hebrew language turned 90 degrees. That's all it
Okay,
is.
so this
So
shouldn't
the
that be
Greek came from
indicated? Indication.
the Greek came from the Hebrew. That's one thing we need to understand. Not only that, if you go into something called the Nuzi tablets or the Murray tablets, these are second millennium tablets, and they mention the Habaru, and it's a linguistic match to Hebrew, which Hebrew is an English word, and I'm gonna show you how they transliterated that word, meaning they wrote it how it sounds. Because the U in Habaru, as they pronounce it, it can be interchangeable with the yo. So you will
All
get the
right.
word
So
abri. easily,
So pretty much
especially
you
when you
keep
put a
mentioning the
determinative in
hold on
front of it.
three points at a time because like I don't want you to go too far to where I can't
Yeah, because
address.
I'm
You already
smacking you
said
with
three
stones right
things.
now, and
So
you can't
so
even, you don't even
you
know what
gave
you got
me
hit with.
three things related to the Greeks right after you tried to rebut me and say that how can I say that the Greeks invented Hebrew? You just gave me three things. The first one was Maccabee, right? How ironic is it that you gave me a relationship between the Greeks and the Hebrews, right? And then the second thing you gave me was you just mentioned artifacts, right? But we know that those artifacts don't really give an attestation to Hebrews is based on ambiguities. The third one you gave me was there was a relationship between the script, the Greek script, and the Hebrew script based on the Greek script being turned upside down. My big question to you that stands out is, in addition to this whole relationship between the Greeks, why can there be no other parallels made between Hebrew and any other script
Bro,
but the Greeks?
see,
There is.
this is your
So
problem, bro. The
we have we
Greeks
have we
conquered
have we have
Egypt
we
during
have
the
we have
same time of the Maccabees. This is
That's totally
stupid, bro.
different. I'm talking to you about your 3 points that you just gave me.
mhm.
All three, not just one. Because yes, while you do have certain uh similarities between script strokes, like the Canaanite script strokes and the Paleo Hebrew script strokes, when it comes to common Hebrew, it more matches Greek than any other script. You just verified that. You just
So which come
agreed to that.
With what?
That's what we're talking about.
Hold on.
which comes first,
Let me
Tony?
go. I got proof that the Greeks ain't write the
Hold,
Hebrew script.
hold on, Capone. Which one
Oh, go
comes
ahead.
first, Hody? The Greek or the
Be
Hebrew?
more specific. Hold on. One at a time. One at a time. Be more specific. You said which comes first,
Yes,
Greek or Hebrew, or are you
yes.
asking me which
Greek
comes
or Hebrew?
first?
Greek or
I
Hebrew?
just told you. We just went over that.
What did you say?
The whole simple fact is Hebrew didn't exist until the Greeks made it up.
So there is no Hebrews until 600 BC.
There's no Hebrews at all. There's no Hebrew. Y'all don't have any artifacts, no temples, no monuments, no figurines,
Are
no
Muslims
tools,
are Muslims
no
Hebrews?
tools. You have no tools. You have no artifacts. So how did y'all
That's a lie.
exist if y'all don't have artifacts?
Where that boat come from? That duck boat.
When did
What's
Kemet
that?
when did Kemet write
Where that
about
duck boat
when
come
did
from?
Kemet write about the Hebrews?
Where do that duck boat come from? Kemet did
When
The
did
that.
first,
it when
The
did Kemet write
Canaanite.
about the
Hold on, I'm finna
Hebrews?
tell you. The Canaanites wrote to the Egyptians about the Hebrews. What is you talking about?
well,
Nah,
you can
see,
look.
this is
You can
what
look
y'all
at.
doing. Y'all
You can
getting
look at the.
vague. Y'all getting
You can look at the.
ambiguous. Y'all getting ambiguous translations of what y'all think is Israel and other terms, and then when it turns out those
Bro,
terms don't add up.
you
I'm saying
just
there's too many
Well,
rejecting
scholars
rejecting
the term
agree
Israel. The
that
evidence.
disagree with all that.
Show
Too
me one.
many.
well,
Show me one. Show me
the
one.
term
I got too many
the
that
term.
agree. Now show me one. Show me
Most of
one.
the artifacts that
Show me one.
the
Show
most
me
of
an
the
African.
artifact. The problem
Show me an
is most of the
African scholar
artifacts that
that
y'all
agree with
claim to
what you
be
just said.
Hebrew always belong to somebody else. Where
Show me
is
an
y'all
African
stuff at?
scholar
Where
that
are
agree
y'all
with what
things
you
at?
just said. I just
I
had
can
this
say that
debate, bro.
because where are
Against
y'all? Where
Smash
is
Humble
y'all
on this
artifacts
same
at?
thing.
Where is y'all attestations at? Why is everybody else talking for y'all but vaguely? Because the scholars don't agree that it says Israelites or
What
Hebrews.
period? Okay, we gonna smash this. What
All
period is
scholars agree that
what
when
what
So
when
kingdom?
King
What
let
writes
him
about
kingdom did?
Canaan, it's Canaan.
let
When
him
Kemet
respond,
writes about
Tahuti.
Greece, it's Greece. When Kemet writes about the Amu, it's about the Amu. But there is no Hebrew Israelites
Oh,
that
man.
Kemet writes about.
What does
Is
Amun
And
this
then
a
the
mean?
debate?
only thing you said was uh, en- uh, encounter with the Hebrews in the Maccabee War.
Bro, you don't have
How
no.
ironic that it's only coming from the Greeks.
Tahuti, is this a debate that you would take?
Man, I would
Because it's
destroy
already
him
been
on
had.
that.
I already told you guys that look, we
You don't
need
got no
to
sources.
progress. You guys have been debunked so many times on all platforms.
So that's a no.
Every platform, Sonetta right now is trying to turn his whole entire platform around, conferring with the elders, trying to get them to leave the Bible for a reason, bro.
Hey,
Finally, he's doing that.
So that's a no.
hey, Tahuti, did you? Yeah, answer the man question, man.
Like
Hey,
I said,
let
no,
me
that's
ask
a
you
no.
this.
That's a no. That's a no. He won't
Let
take
me,
that.
let me ask you
Must
this.
be a no.
Are the Greeks? Can the Greeks read the stars? Are they astrologers?
So we know the Greeks didn't learn astronomy until they went up into Kemet, and then it took them a while.
So they can't. So they couldn't. We
But
know
they
that
can.
they.
They were good storytellers. You can look up that the
Hold
Greeks
on,
were
hold
good
on, hold on. So
storytellers.
they couldn't read the they couldn't read the stars because they had a word for people that could read the stars. That's the point. So now they couldn't read the stars, but the Hebrew or the Proto-Canaanite language is written in the stars. It's the constellations, which what we call zodiac today. That's what that is.
The
And it's
Proto-Canaanite or the Hebrew?
bro, the Hebrew.
Okay.
Bro, listen. You have Proto-Sinaitic, you have Proto-Canaanite, and then you have Phoenician Canaanite script. When you get into the 3rd century BC, it's a reason that there's a distinction between the three because it's from different people.
All right, humble. Did you want to say something? You gave a presentation earlier.
Did any of you gentlemen have any more any comments? Not anymore, but any comments or questions about his presentation?
Mm-mm. Your presentation was about what we was talking about the Phoenician, right? Oh
It
no,
was
I didn't
about
see it.
scholarship.
Oh, I didn't see the presentation there.
Yeah, he had a fire presentation about the misinformation coming out of Kemet right now, and yeah, you had to check it out. You know, he was calling some people out. He was sending shots. He was saying we
So
stand
yeah,
on the shoulders of the elders, and he got they back. You feel me? Did
oh
I
yeah,
get that right?
yep, most definitely.
Okay, I got
So
it right.
now, but some way, somehow, me and brother King J got into this Phoenician and Proto, and you know what I'm saying. And so he was like, like I don't know what. First off, no,
It's
because
anachronistic, brother.
right, he was saying I was using something anachronistically, and I was like, what am I using anachronistically?
The word
Oh,
Phoenician.
so that's the thing right there. So what am I using anachronistically?
The word Phoenician, brother. The word itself. The word. So
The
all I'm
word
telling you is
Phoenician
this.
itself.
All I'm telling you. Listen, brother. All I'm saying is this. It's an Iron Age word, and we're talking about a Bronze Age period, brother. When you're saying that the Proto-Sinaitic script derived from the Phoenician script, that's incorrect. It's
I
impossible
never
because
said. Oh, time out. I never said that. That's not what I said. I said Hebrew. I ain't said no
right, so,
Sinaitic. I
right,
said Hebrew.
humble. When
He
you talk to
terrible.
me, hold
This
on,
guy can't even. I'm about to watch
humble.
it, bro.
When you talk to me, learn the terms that I use, brother.
How the
Proto-Sinaitic. Hold
Hebrew and
on, brother.
Sinaitic are
Hold on,
different.
humble. Yes, the Proto-Sinaitic script is the Hebrew script, brother.
No, it's
Just
not.
listen. Okay, you just died again, brother. Do you want to debate this?
Get out of here, bro.
Do
This
you want
guy.
to
Bro,
debate this?
that's not a
Humble.
debate.
Quit
Yes.
arguing and just listen, brother, because I've been beating you up ever since you've been talking.
Yo, he terrible. Nah. You terrible.
You're terrible, humble.
So if the so how is the Proto-Sinaitic script the same as the Hebrew script. If the Hebrew script
I'll tell you why.
no,
I'll answer the question.
how in the Hebrew script ain't come around until 1000 BCE.
Okay, I'll answer the question. So when I mentioned Stera BL Kadem, right? That is in the Torkos mines. That is the actual mine in the location where the Proto-Sinaitic script was discovered, right? These are hold on, let me finish. Learn, brother, for real. You don't have no reason to disagree with anything I'm saying right now. Those miners, these are Semitic speakers. These are the people who took the Meter Netter, the iconography from the Meter Netter, right? The symbols, those 22, 24 unilateral signs, and made them and applied their Semitic vocalization system on there and came up with their own script, which would later be known as the Hebrew script. So the Proto-Sinaitic script is the Hebrew script. The Sinaitic script this is when they took the Egyptian Meter Netter. You shaking your head, no.
First
But
off,
it's right.
totally
You want to debate this? Humble. Do you want to debate this?
Crazy.
No,
Do you want to debate this?
Hey, can I say one thing before I leave about Hebrew script and language?
Yes,
Can I say one thing?
No, because you're gonna
Right now
distract us from the conversation.
It's Yiddish. Y'all speak Yiddish now, so
because listen,
right? That's stupid what you just said. Yiddish is the Hebrew script with a German dialect.
Yeah, he threw us all the way off with that.
None of us German. How we speaking Yiddish?
Yeah, but yeah. Humble.
Also, real quick, let me just say this. So the reason why he's thinking is different because the modern Hebrew utilized the Nakul system from the Masoretes, and it uses a box Hebrew script writing style.
No.
The language never changed.
Gidi Capone. It uses the Aramaic script, brother. So the block Aramaic script is the script that Ezra got brought back from Babylon. They don't use a Hebrew script. They're using the Aramaic block script with the Tiberian vocalization system.
That's what I just said. You just said the same thing.
No, you said Hebrew script. It's
Hebrew
not a Hebrew script. It's an Aramaic. It's an Aramaic block script.
That's the same thing. It's a misnomer.
It's not the same thing.
Yes, it is. It's a misnomer.
Listen. Hold on, GD Capone. This is not your lane. So listen.
It's not,
listen.
This not
ain't
your lane, bro.
Well, let me educate you. Well, let me educate you.
Are you a linguist?
Hold on. First of all, you got to echo.
Oh, I got to echo.
Secondly, the Kativ Ivri. Learn what the word Kativ means first before you talk to me. Kativ Ivri versus Kativ Ashur. Learn the difference. Kativ Ivri means the Hebrew writing, right? And that is what they would have written, the script they used before they went into exile into Babylon. When they came out of Babylon, Ezra brought back Kativ Ashur. So you don't tell me that Kativ Ashur is the same thing as Kativ Ivri when they're two different things. One means Assyrian, one means Hebrew.
Well, even that is subjective because Ezra.
Yeah, Ezra, but I'm just saying that's their narrative. They got all this from Ezra from Babylon. So when they come out of Babylon, they're not using Kativ Ivri. Now, do you want to debate that? Because you die right there. I'm beating y'all up. They will use.
Wait, you said who was using Ivri?
The Hebrews.
The Hebrews where?
Brother, you don't even know what Ivri means. Like, come on, Hebrew. Humble, stop talking, brother. Stop talking. So why are you having contention? So why are you having contention with me saying that the Hebrews are using Ivri?
So I said, where were they using it? Where they were using it?
The Hebrews used the Kativ Ivri script until they went into exile into Babylon. After they came out of Babylon, they were using a different script.
King J, who are you identifying as Hebrews? That's just my personal question.
I don't know, because honestly, it's so much. So that we could use the if we're talking about the Transjordan tribes, we're talking about the Shashu of Yahweh. If we want to talk about the brother, he asked me a question. What's not true? I'm answering the question to my knowledge. If we're talking about the Levantine Canaanite tribes, then we possibly be talking about the Amu tribes. but they're all going to be semi-nomadic tribes. So you can have it's probably a collection of both. Some Levantine Canaanite, tribes mixed with some Transjordan tribes. That's probably who they are. But I wouldn't say just one particular group, but I would just say a collection of probably semi-nomadic
Yeah, no, I
tribes.
understand what you're saying. Yeah, that's
Yeah. But yeah. So I'm just being fair with the conversation, but
I'm gonna be honest with you. These are standard facts
No.
within
So
academia. This is just basic standardized facts.
no, this is
I'm
not
I'm
standardized.
telling you.
First off, hold on one second. Number one, these are not standardized facts because again, he's talking about Ivrid and up man. These people spoke Canaanite, right? And depending where you were,
no, actually, they spoke Akkadian. They spoke Akkadian first.
Hold on, King James.
You're making up stuff, humble.
You see how he keep moving the goalpost? Oh, no, they spoke Akkadian first. We talking about the people you was just talking about. They ain't speak Akkadian first.
They didn't?
No, they didn't speak Akkadian first.
Brother, you do know Akkadian was a lingua franca.
Who are y'all talking about?
Humble, you don't get beat up with me, brother. You keep getting beat up with me.
Bro,
so y'all don't talk past each other. Who are y'all talking about? Y'all might be talking about two different. I don't want y'all to talk past each other.
He terrible. He crazy. I'm talking about those people that we would consider Canaanite during the 4500. What we talking about? Proto-Sinaitic. Is that what we talking about? 4500, 300, right? Before the rise of the Akkadian, before the rise of the Canaanite, and then after the Proto-Sinaitic broke down into groups, right? We start to see the Akkadian, the Amorite, the Ugaritic, the Amorite, the Hebrew, the Phoenician, the Moabite.
You saying Akkadian? Right? Why are you saying Akkadian comes after what?
Akkadian comes after the Proto-Sinaitic.
He messing that up.
Yeah,
he messed it up.
Hold on, slow down.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you're using the wrong term. You got to be.
I'm using the wrong term. So are y'all really
cannot be using Akkadian? Hold on, matter of fact, I'm reading this. Proto-Sinaitic.
Hold on,
I think you're meaning to say a different term. That's all I'm saying.
Hold on.
Because Akkadian is an ancient.
Let me
very old
let me bust your head with it like this.
And Akkadian isn't even
the Phoenician.
Semitic.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Who spoke the Phoenician language? Right? Short answer. The Phoenician language was spoken by coastal Canaanite people.
Show your screen.
Specifically, the inhabitants of the cities of Tyre, Sidon, Babylon, and later Karshas. These people were not a separate race or ethnicity. They were Canaanites, speaking Canaanite dialect.
Brother, you just busted to cut yourself.
Hold on. No, I'm not.
Just cut yourself.
The Hebrews, or who we would call the Hebrews, because they were Canaanite as well during this time as well, they spoke a inland Canaanite. Now watch this. When did
so nobody spoke Phoenician?
Hold on. Huh?
So you just proved that none of these people were speaking Phoenician. Go ahead.
No. Phoenician spoke a... Bro, he terrible, bro. This guy. So let me back it up. Let me slow it down. I see we got some yellow hats in the building. So let me slow it down real quick.
A lot of things.
Right? So we started off talking about the Proto-Sinaitic, right? And I said, well, the Proto-Sinaitic is the ancestor of all these other languages, right? But now King J said, okay, well, the Proto-Sinaitic is the Hebrew. Well, that's impossible because the Hebrew would have to go through a bunch of other languages even to get to the Proto-Sinaitic. So this is what I'm breaking down to you. Hebrew doesn't become its own language until later.
You're right, humble. Yeah, you're right.
Thank you,
You're
Benny.
absolutely right.
That's all I was breaking down. That's all I was breaking down.
Hebrew is a later dialect. Absolutely, yeah. But it's using the same script. I think I remember, the difference between how the script is used.
Yeah.
Right?
It didn't use. The reason people say it used the same script is because the Phoenician script used Proto-Sinaitic script, and they took the Phoenician script.
So I'll give you an example. You just mentioned Akkadian, right?
Yeah.
Akkadian uses a cuneiform script.
Yes.
The Assyrians, which is East Semitic language, they use cuneiform script, but their language that is Semitic, right? It's the same way here. If you just think about it, the same way, it's the same way here. Hebrew is a dialect.
This is where, hold on. Because during the Phoenician times, this is where, I keep saying this, the Phoenicians took the cuneiform and they turned it into an alphabet. This is why the Hebrews was able to do that.
That's not cuneiform.
I'm not saying they took that. What I'm saying is, right? When the Phoenicians developed their script off of an earlier script, right?
What time period are we talking about?
When the Phoenicians developed their script?
No, the time period you're talking about. What time period are you talking about?
So this would be around 1800 BCE.
Okay, 1800 BC. So let's establish that Phoenician is an Iron Age term, right?
Bro.
We're talking, huh?
He keep going there with it, bro.
We're establishing points, so you won't keep going back in these same circular conversations. Phoenician is an Iron Age term, right? Yes or no?
This is what the Greeks.
Phoenician is an Iron Age term, correct? Yes or no?
These people, I guess, yes.
1850 BC is Bronze Age, correct?
Bro.
So we're still talking about. We're talking about the people. Hold on. We're talking about the people of. When you say Phoenician and you're talking about 1850 BC, we're talking about the inhabitants of Tyre, Sidon, and possibly even Ugarit. So these are Ugarit
Canaanites.
People. Okay, not Phoenicians. I don't have a problem with you saying Canaanite, brother. Listen, I don't have a problem with you saying Canaanite. You're calling them Phoenicians.
The fact that
during 1850 BC.
Listen.
You listen, because I'm tired of you saying the same thing incorrectly.
It's like calling
1850 BC. They're not Phoenicians.
It's like calling Bloods Crips. It's a gang.
I'm not saying that they are Phoenicians during that time. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
quit using the word Phoenician in, because we're not talking about Phoenicians.
I'm saying these people. Okay, let me put them on a slow bus again.
Say the people of Ugarit.
Hold on.
How about that? Ugaritians,
right?
They had a name.
Point Phoenicians, right, existed in 1800s BCE. Right? Now, they later generated a script. The script then
when did they generate the script? And what was it?
1050 BCE.
So, but brother, the Proto-Sinaitic script is dates before 1050 BC. You know that, right?
Nobody is.
You're talking about a language. Listen, brother, you're confusing the. Hold on, listen, brother. I know your area. You gave me. Listen, because your date showed me your era. You're talking about language.
No. Y'all see how
you're talking about the Hebrew language. That's different than the Hebrew script.
Didn't I just tell this guy that the Proto-Sinaitic script is the ancestors of all of these other scripts?
No, I told you that. I said that.
Listen, Ben Eaton literally just said, I just told Ben Eaton what my point was, and Ben Eaton said, oh yeah, brother Humble, we agree with that.
No, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
So,
brother,
hold on 1 second. If I earlier just announced, right, that we know the Proto-Sinaitic script is older than the Phoenician script, right? Then we know the Phoenician script comes from there. But the Hebrew takes from the Phoenician. It doesn't take from the Proto-Sinaitic.
What?
Can you
How does the
help me
Hebrew? How
understand
does
what
the
you're
Hebrew
saying?
brother? Listen, if you gave a date, first of all, I disagree with your date. You gave a date of 1050 BC for the Hebrew. It dates more or
No,
less
that's
to about 4.
Phoenician. That's
No,
Phoenician. I gave 1050 BCE for the Phoenician script.
So but hold on, just to clarify something, the Hebrew, the word Phoenician itself is a Greek word, correct?
mm-hmm.
Bro. All right. So what do you call these people?
Brother, why don't you answer questions?
What do you call these people? I'm asking
What,
you.
brother? Answer the question. Is the word Phoenician a Greek word?
I just said yes, but now I'm
Okay, so
asking you.
and when do the Greek? Hold on,
No,
brother.
no, no, no,
Hold
no, no,
on.
no.
Okay,
What do
so it's
you
a
call
Greek
these
word,
people?
right? Hold on. Listen
What
for
do you
clarity.
call these
It
people?
doesn't come along to 600 BC.
What do you call these people?
So during before the
What do
iron
you call these
before the
people? So the people who
I'm
developed the
answering the
Phoenician
question.
script,
I'm
what do you
answering
call
your
them?
question. I'm answering your question.
Okay.
Before the Greeks came and called these people Phoenicians, we were talking about the people of Ugarit. So Ugaridians, Sidonians. They lived in Sidon, so they were Sidonian.
I don't know why my phone doing this. Hold on.
I don't know why this is hard for you to comprehend. Compo, you're a smart guy. Use dates.
Hold on.
Hey, but King J, let me just add this. The
I
whole
think y'all talking
reason
past
why
each
it's
other again.
confusing
Well, I guess he's
is
not really
because
understanding.
Man, I'm trying to get my damn. Hold
they
on.
not going to admit what it actually is. We know what Proto Canaanite is. We know what came before Hebrew. So when they name these things Proto Hebrew, Proto Canaanite, that's them telling you that they don't want to admit that everything that came from the Nile Valley is the parent language and script system.
Yeah, I
Um,
guess for the script, that's fine.
Script, yeah.
Well, we know. I mean, we know that had a lot of what we speaking on. What me and King J is speaking on is, and King J still ain't answer my question. If we can't use like, I guess he said
I
Ugarit.
didn't answer. I think you cut off. So
Oh,
the people we would call them their name if they live in Ugarit, brother, Ugaridians. If they're living in Sidon, Sidonians. That's who the
so
people. That's who they would go by. They weren't Phoenicians. That's all I'm trying to get you to use
all
is
right.
the proper terminology because it
Are you
actually
saying that?
does
So are you
matter.
saying that
We-
script would have been called a Ugarit script?
There, brother. Listen, yes, or Elamite, or Proto Canaanite. They're all under umbrella. I would say Amorite, Moabite, Elamite, all those could be under the same Proto Canaanite banner.
But guess what? But guess
They
what?
are.
Oh, hold on, watch this. Let me read this because he don't know this, right? Apparently he don't know this, right? So the Phoenician
No more
script.
than you think.
Hold on 1 second, I got you. 1050 BCE to 950 BCE, right? This is the moment that the Phoenicians, right,
How is it
developed.
Phoenician the word is not? You're not, no, brother. Listen.
Hold on,
Why do
stop
you
cutting
do that?
me
You're not
off.
answering my question,
Stop
and this is the
cutting
only
me
question I've
off.
had.
Hold on.
Why are you using the word Phoenician?
Hold on.
Hold, hold on,
I'm about
King.
to tell you
Just let
right
him
here.
finish.
I'm about to tell you right here. So this is the moment that I'm gonna just say these people, right? That these people developed their script in the sense of standardizing the Proto-Canaanite alphabet. They regularized letters and shape, fixing the 22-letter continental system, right? Creating a consistent writing system tradition used across Tigris, Sidon, Babylon, and their colonials. The reason this is under one script is because they all spoke this language.
Now watch this. Let me just body bag
Now,
this. So
hold on
what
one
you just hold
second.
on. Let me just body bag this because you messing
You
up.
can.
So you gave a date of 1050 BC for the Phoenician. So really
Yeah.
you just described the sea people coming in and war them. That's fine. So how do you combat the date that the Proto Sinaitic script in the Serabi El Kadim mines dates about they say 1800 BC to 1450 BC. That's way before 1050 BC. And these
Bro,
are the bro what?
he terrible, bro.
This predates that Phoenician
They
date
been,
that you just gave.
they been eating really fast. Are you there? Been eating?
Yeah, I'm listening.
All right,
You
so let
got,
me talk to a
you
man
got
with some sense really fast. It been eating.
He's saying everything I'm saying.
Hold on, King J. So been eating. So the Proto-Sinaitic script predates the Phoenician, or I'm not even gonna say Phoenician. The Proto-Sinaitic script predates the script of the people, right? that were in Sidon, Sidon, Babylon, and Tyre, right? However, we know that they standardized, they worked with that script, right? And created their own script, right? And so the earliest
No,
clip,
not right.
hold on one second, the
It came from the
earliest
better netter. You messing it
script that
up.
we have from these people, hold on, the earliest script that we have from these people, right, is from Ahram, Ahiram, right? Secaponi is from Babylon's CK 10,000 to 550 BCE, and the Babylon's Royals inscription 1050 to 950 BCE. What language was they written in? What script? No, let me say language. What script are they written in? What script is the Babylon's royal inscriptions written in?
Cuneiform and Akkadian. A little bit of both. Cuneiform.
Cuneiform.
Akkadian.
So if I look, so if I ask what script was this written in, it's going to tell me cuneiform.
Brother, I would suppose you already looked it up. You don't know. I just gave you the answer.
What do we think cuneiform is?
He don't know. He don't even know that most of the Ugaritic scripts are in cuneiform, and they was translated into Semitic scripts.
What?
But go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother. The ball cycles, most Ugaritic scripts are in cuneiform. But go ahead.
Can we all agree that cuneiform is a version of Meta Nature?
No.
So hold on, watch this. Since he want to say cuneiform. Matter of fact, I should ask. Hold on, let me ask.
Was it written in cuneiform?
No, it was
asking
not.
ChatGPT shit, bro, because
it was
clearly
written in a transit point, right, of early Phoenician, which they would still call Proto-Canaanite, but that's Phoenician.
Just say Proto-Canaanite.
Hey, they got this app called Grokpedia where they mix AI and Wikipedia together.
That's why I don't use that shit, bro. All that Wikipedia shit, a bunch of bullshit.
You gotta start back reading books.
Yeah.
Go Wikipedia reference books.
Right now, I would suggest study Northwest Semitic languages and Northwest Semitic scripts.
So I'm gonna ask: was this script cuneiform? Okay, no. The early Babylon's royal inscriptions were not written in cuneiform. Let's break this down. What script did the early Babylon's inscriptions use? They used early Phoenician alphabetic script, which is the standardized, right, from Proto-Canaanite. This script is alphabetic, 22 consonants. Oh, it has consonants, so we know it wasn't cuneiform. It was linear, straight strokes, no wedges. Oh, it didn't have wedges, so we know this wasn't cuneiform, right? So it's like, how are we saying this was a cuneiform script? What's a cuneiform script? Because maybe King J don't know what a cuneiform script is. What is a cuneiform script?
No,
a cuneiform script is a wedge-shaped writing system pressed into clay tablets used by Sumerians, Akkadians, Babylonians, Assyrians, Hittites, and Iranians. A symbolic logographic system, not alphabetic. Oh, what? Not alphabetic? Not alphabetic? So now when we talking this stuff, right, he's saying, well, why don't you use this? Why don't you use this? Well, because we clearly see one script does not have alphabets. The other one does. Uh-oh.
Brother, you have no idea what you're talking about. You have no idea what you're talking about, brother.
Uh-oh, Ben Eaton. He in trouble now, Ben Eaton.
And it's the problem with religion because you can't really pinpoint.
Can I? Yeah, he can't read. He can't even read. So, like, if I give you examples of the actual text, right? So we can talk about the Epic of Gilgamesh. What is the Epic of Gilgamesh written in?
Cuneiform.
Cuneiform. Thank you. I'll give you another example. I'm giving you actual text. So if I say the Code of Hammurabi, what was the Code of Hammurabi written in?
The Code of Hammurabi?
Yes. What is it written in?
Cuneiform, but he was an
Cuneiform,
Amorite, so the
cuneiform,
language is Semitic.
cuneiform. It's a Babylonian cuneiform. Go
Yeah.
ahead,
Well, let
humble.
me ask you this though. What was the
You
royal
can't if I'm giving you
Hold
points that are debunking
on,
everything you're
hold
saying, you
on.
can't just keep going
Watch
back
this,
point for
y'all. Watch
point.
this, y'all.
You've been defeated.
King J, I answered your 2 questions. Now answer this question. What was the Babylon's royal inscriptions script written in?
Brother, I have no idea.
Oh, he have no idea.
What is the date that is written in? What is the date that is written
I
in?
don't know about the language, but I know what systems that he's talking about. I asked him about a system he don't know about it. Oh, he had
Right, I don't know everything, brother. And I don't have a problem with when I don't know something. That's something that you need to do, brother, is to admit that you're wrong, brother.
Hey,
Because
ask
you don't even.
Chat GPT.
It was a Phoenician script. If
He
you
asking chat
want to know,
GTP
if
too
you
many
want to know and
things,
look
brother.
it up, it'll tell you it was an early Phoenician script. That's what it'll tell you.
Ask Chat GPT what is Proto-Phoenician.
There's no like y'all crazy, brother. Like this is a dumb conversation at this point. You keep using the word Phoenician. It's like, brother, we've already established the word doesn't even
But at
exist
the
until
same time,
600
it's
BC.
going to give you an answer that proves a point. If
No,
you
it's going to give you an
look
answer
up what
because
Proto-Phoenician is, it'll tell you what
It
came
doesn't prove
before.
a point.
it's going to tell
And
it's
it'll
Because
going
tell
to
you
it's going to say
Canaanite.
Phoenician because
if I
we
typed
use
in if I typed in is it anachronistic to use the word Phoenician, it'll say yes.
it's going to say yeah.
And the
Right. But
conversation
at
will
the
be
same
over with. And
time,
so wait. So there is no same time. So that means it's a redundant argument at this point.
you can
So it's
look
not
up
at the same
anything you
time.
want to.
No, that was
Because
a great
something
question.
has a
Is this
if
anachronistic?
Phoenician isn't old, then that means something came before it. So ask ChatGPT what came before Phoenician. That's
Brother,
all.
we've already
Yeah,
established that it's proto
I
Canaanite.
just
it's a
want to see
long it's a
what the AI's answer is going to be. That's all.
piece, Emmanuel.
Shout out to
Shout
Emmanuel Halawaya, one
out,
of the Titans in the tournament,
shout out, y'all.
having his round 2 debut debate against Lord Benu this Saturday, prime time. Commercial coming in here shortly. I'm over here exporting it right now. Go ahead, Emmanuel.
All right, so
Any
let me
questions or
read
comments,
this.
Emmanuel?
Oh, go ahead, Emmanuel. Oh, Emmanuel in the building. What's up, Emmanuel?
Hey, peace, brother. Peace, brother. I did kind of, I don't want to comment too quick because I see y'all still talking about it. I guess ancient Phoenician versus Proto-Semitic or Proto-Canaanite. I'm just here to see where it's going before I even comment. I want to see where some brothers land at.
All right, so now let me read this really fast. What is Proto-Phoenician? The brother asked that, which was a great question, right? Proto-Phoenician, right, is the transitional stage between Proto-Canaanite and early Phoenician script and language. It represents early recognizable forms of the Phoenician alphabet. It represents the earliest recognizable form of the Phoenician alphabet. I had to say that again just so the people in the back can hear me, right? Before it became fully standardized. Think of it as pre-Phoenician phase, the moment when coastal Canaanite writing became to crystallize into what we later call what? Phoenician? Huh? Phoenician? Huh?
Yeah, that was the point.
So did we say, hold on, time out. So did we say that the Canaanites that wrote this script were no longer Canaanites because we call it Phoenician? No, they still Canaanites. They just we just call their script Phoenician.
Hey, I'm
No,
not
you
trying to
didn't. You just made that up.
argue.
No, I
I'm not
didn't.
trying to argue. Hey, I'm not trying to argue, but that to call Proto-Phoenician, Proto-Canaanite is hiding a lot of information. So, and that's
What?
why I don't use AI
Like what?
because like Proto-Phoenician should have been Canaanite right off the bat. It shouldn't have been Proto-Canaanite.
Exactly.
Well, you have to realize, right?
Simply,
No, we
simply
can't say that.
Canaanite.
Hold on. No. We can't say that. Because again, when you understand what Canaan is, right? Canaan is a multitude of different ethnic groups, right? who came together who spoke similar languages. So the reason is Proto-Canaanite still is because this is why their language is closest to Proto-Sinaitic, because they held the oldest language. They just turned it into alphabetical form.
You made that up. So let me give you the chronicle.
I just read that. I gotta make that up, and I read it earlier.
So hold on. I actually looked it up. Hold on, humble. I looked it up just so I can give it to you in the exact order, right? So it says I can't even say the word. Chronological order. It says Egyptian hieroglyphs, 3100 BC. A complex system of hundreds of pictorial signs, blah, 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 represent both sounds and words. After the Egyptian hieroglyphs, it goes Proto-Sinaitic script. It gives a date of 1850 to 1500 BC. It said this is the first attempt to turn pictures into a simple alphabet. It was used by Semitic-speaking people, likely miners in the Sinai in the Serabi El Qadim. This is what I keep saying. Then it says Proto-Canaanite script, 1500 BC to 1050 BC. It says as the Proto-Sinaitic idea spread north into the Levant, it involved what we call Proto-Canaanite. And then it says Phoenician, 1050 BC. It said it becomes a standardized linear script, and it was spread across the Mediterranean. And it says it's an Iron Age term, brother. When we're talking, you can only use
that's
that.
what I was waiting to hear somebody say. Thank you, King J, for that. That's what I was waiting to hear.
This is the definition of cutting your own head off.
No, that's it. That's it, homie.
That's right there. Ben Eaton is the definition of cutting your own head off. If I was
why won't you concede that you're wrong, humble? Why won't you concede to you're wrong when everybody is?
Hey, Ben Eaton, have I not been saying that the whole night?
I heard you say that earlier. Yeah, I did.
Thank you so much. And he just want to be combative, and now he want to agree with me.
You heard me say what?
That's why I say
humble. I haven't agreed with anything you said. Humble. If you listen to anything I've said, I've said the same thing continually and repeatedly. You should not be using. Listen, humble. You should not use the Iron Age term when we're talking about Bronze Age events.
Ben Eaton,
so
I was
it's anachronistic. It's anachronistic. Unless we're talking about something that actually happened during the Iron Age period, and those particular people who live in Tyre, Sidon, or in the Eucharist area, we're not talking about Phoenicians at all. So I just want you to use the right time words when we're talking about. So just use Canaanites. If you don't want to identify the exact people.
Hey, Ben Eaton, you caught it. Did you catch it? Just use Canaan. Hey,
just use Canaanite.
No. Answer this question. When you was breaking down those scripts, right, and you got to Phoenician, did you just say Canaanite or did you say Phoenician?
Well, if I'm at 1050 BC in the Iron Age period, and I'm in the Eucharist and Sidon, and these particular seafaring maritime merchant people have a particular script that's similar. It only pertains to them.
You got to get your weight up, King J.
No, you got to get your weight up, brother. You've been beat up all night.
You ain't ready,
quit using the word Phoenician, brother. Take it out your vocabulary.
This man that came back,
y'all kind of talking
contradicted himself like 3 times.
No, because at first he said that Phoenician was the origin of all this shit. Now he done jumped to the Phoenician. Don't start to 1050. Now we don't start. Now we don't start to 10. Hold on.
Hey, humble, you did mention Akkadian in there, and you threw me off a little bit.
Hold on 1 second. Hey,
now you at 1050 BC with Phoenician. You done came back and kind of corrected your shit. You've been getting beat up, brother.
Hold on 1 second. Ben Eaton. From the beginning, right, when we first started talking about the Proto-Canaanite and all of this, I was strictly talking about the script that the early Israelites used, right or wrong?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I was strictly talking about the script. Well, let me clarify.
Okay.
I was particularly talking about the script.
And what script was that?
Israelite used.
And what script was that?
Phoenician Canaanite.
No, it wasn't. Yes, so for one, stop. Now let me bust your ass even further. Now stay right there. I just want to bust your ass right there because hold on, humble. Because everything you keep saying is wrong.
Are you there,
I
brother?
want to bust your ass again. Phoenician Canaanite. For
You
one,
terrible.
listen.
Hey, one. Hold on. I
You're
don't
not
know.
ready. You're not ready for an intellectual
Listen,
conversation, humble.
the issue is when you
When
hold on,
A1 pulled that up on the screen, did it agree with me or did it agree with King J?
It didn't agree with anything.
Paul,
It was
what did you
bullshit.
pull up?
What A1 pulled up when it was talking about where the what is Proto-Hebrew, right? Did it agree with King J point that it was Proto-Sinaitic, or did it agree with my point that it was Phoenician Canaanite?
That don't even make sense. If Phoenician comes at 1050 BC, we're talking about 1850 BC. How could it be
Hey,
Phoenician?
man, you lucky A1 ain't here, bro. I
You're
tell
not
him
even
pull
making
it
sense.
up again.
Brother, humble. Quit trying to overtalk me. Just let me say
I
this.
ain't go nowhere.
Because
I
I
ain't
just
go
ran
nowhere.
okay.
Listen,
I just ran. Go
just to
ahead.
clarify, Phoenician is an old script before we start to identify it as Phoenician, right? So remember, these people aren't called Phoenician until the Greeks come and call them Phoenician. The language in the form that they use it is old. That's why it's
He
date back
don't
to around
understand
10.
that. He don't
But
understand that.
once you say Phoenician, in my head, I'm thinking about a certain time period, and I think that's
I
where the
am.
disconnect is coming from.
And I am. And he don't even understand that. And now I'm finna go even more further and technical with him. Listen, quit cutting me off. Bro, listen, learn. You should be learning because you have not an argument or
I'm
dog
thinking
in this
about
fight at
the
this point.
popular
Listen,
Phoenician.
humble.
Hey, Big
Listen,
King,
listen,
time
humble.
out,
Humble,
man.
listen.
Hey, Big King, you
Humble,
said you had
listen.
heard him break down the scripts,
Why
right?
I can't humble?
You
Why I
heard
can't go
him
in even?
go from
Why are you filibustering,
Proto-Sinaitic.
brother?
Hold on, King J.
Pull out the
You
clock.
heard him
Pull
go
out the
from
clock.
Proto-Sinaitic to
Pull
Phoenician,
out the
right?
clock.
Did you hear an Israelite script in anywhere in between?
Nah,
Brother,
I
I'm gonna
don't think that's
respond
what
to what you
conversation
Thank
just
you.
about.
said. Now,
That's my point.
let me respond because we're not gonna find the word Israelite. So if you think we're gonna find Israelite, you're wrong.
Yeah.
So my point,
What did
they
we
cutting me
find? We
off.
found Phoenician.
Humble. Why can't I get more than 10 seconds out before you filibuster and cut me off? That's a debate tactic. I know.
You terrible, man. Go ahead.
Let me get my information out. Can we pull out the 2-minute clocks, or can we just act like adults? All right. So when I brought up the Proto-Sinaitic script, right, and said that's the Hebrew, I stand on that. You sat here and you said the Proto-Sinaitic script is a Phoenician script, but how is it a Phoenician script, brother? Do you know where Sarah B. El Kadim is? No, or you wouldn't have said no dumbass shit like that.
Yo, this my question. If it was so important, why wasn't it mentioned? Why can't they just say it, call it Hebrew instead of proto this and you call it proto that and proto
That's
this
a
Well,
and
good
the
that?
story,
question.
the story
It
goes
wasn't.
is like those Semitic. So I like to call them Semitic speaking people because I don't like to say. To me, they might be the Hebrew proto stock or Israelite stock. I would say that. So, but to be fair, I just call them Semitic speaking people because they spoke a Semitic language and they were miners or in the those turquoise mines, right? That Egypt ruled at that time. So I would argue that when they left out of Egypt, that's probably where they went. That's probably where Moses came down with the Ten Commandments and gave them to them. That was that's my theory. That's my theory. You know what I'm saying?
Now hold on.
So
So it's based on
that
probability clause.
that's
Now,
that's
Cause
Big,
that's
who was that?
where
Who was that other
follow
dude
me real
who was trying
fast.
to
Hold
jump
on,
on me?
King J.
that's the
Hold up.
Exodus. That's me combining. Say, okay, do y'all want to have some real history? Because the biblical narrative it doesn't fit what history says. Now,
All
history
right.
does
Now
say that
hold on. Let me break
there
it
was
down
some
for y'all.
Semitic speaking miners in that area that came up with the Proto-Sinaitic script. That's the way. So history and biblical terminology are two different things.
Okay. So now let me break it down for y'all what I'm saying, right? Let me if y'all can see on the screen, right? And again, y'all know I hate using Wiki and I really want to use a different source. But even if we do use Wiki, and I really hate using Wiki, man, fuck that. I'm
Oh
using
man,
this. I apologize for my language, y'all. So let's go down here, bro.
goodness.
No,
I
no, go
really
ahead, man.
don't like
Wiki
using Wiki,
fine.
bro. I really
Wiki all
don't
right.
like using Wiki, bro. But it says Paleo Hebrew is the ancient script and language used by Israelites representing the earliest form of Israelite writing related to the Phoenicians. I'm not making this up, bro. You said this, right? The alphabet writing system, right? Let's go here. The Paleo Hebrew alphabet contains 22 letters and is part of the broader Semitic script family, sharing strong similarities with Phoenicians. Once again, I'm not making this up, right? Paleo Hebrew belongs to the Canaanite branch of Semitic languages, shares many features with Phoenicians. I'm not making this up, man.
You're
What's going
absolutely
on
right,
here?
Humble. You're
Yeah,
absolutely right.
and Phoenician comes later. You act like Phoenician is the
You
origin of
can't
this
tell
shit.
me.
We know that Phoenician is
So if
later,
Phoenicians
brother.
come later, then
I'm
who
not
did they
saying
get this
that it's
from?
not. I'm not saying that Phoenician is not an Iron Age script.
So then what script is this? If this
What
is not
script is
the
what?
first script like you saying, then what script is this?
What script is what?
The Phoenician. What script is that?
Brother, the Phoenician script is derived off the Proto-Canaanite script.
Yo, come on, Ben. You see this, bro? He gotta get
The
together.
Phoenician is dated. The Phoenician is dated 1050. The Phoenician script is dated 10. Hold on, brother. You asking questions. You have to use dates.
Come
It
on,
maybe
man.
won't confuse you.
He gotta get
The Phoenician script is dated 1050 BC. So before then, there is no Phoenician script. So where you ask, where is that script derived from? It's derived from the Proto-Canaanite script, because the people in that area before before the sea people came and invaded and they had all this new bullshit, they were using a Canaanite script.
Hold on, King J. Are you saying Israelites are using Proto-Sinaitic?
I'm saying that the script that those miners came up with in Serbi El Kadim is derived from the Medo Netter. They simply
Okay.
they simply imposed their Semitic vocalization system on the Egyptian iconography.
Yeah, I got you. But
now,
you,
Ben.
you
He
said you
didn't
said
even answer
Hebrew
your
comes
question.
before Phoenician. Yeah, I guess. I mean,
He ain't
It
answer your
got to it
question.
got to it got to come before Phoenician. If if
You said the Hebrew script come before
If Phoenician
Phoenician?
doesn't start,
no,
if the Greeks don't come
I don't
along
agree with. I
until
don't agree with
600
that.
BC, huh?
Yeah, but regardless of the term, we're talking about the dialect form.
The
So
dialect. Okay, exactly.
how the script is written, right, and its particular phonemes, and which
Right.
separate it from other West Semitic,
Dialect.
dialects, right?
Hmm.
I can't see that coming after after Hebrew. When
Before.
when when the first identifiable dialect, Hebrew dialect, is late 10th century. So what was that?
So
What would be 1030
what
something?
you're essentially saying is that the Hebrew dialect is the Phoenician dialect.
I think they're sharing the same dialect. I mean, I think they're sharing the same script. They're sharing the same
Well,
script. Look at the.
in that area, if we're talking about the Ugaritic area and specifically Tyre and Sidon, then they would have spoken their own
They
dialect,
might, yeah, of course they would have spoken their own dialect. But as
a
far as
coastland dialect. They're in the coast
yeah,
right
but as
there.
far as
So
like textual material that we have to
mhm.
identify a distinctive Israelite dialect versus a Phoenician dialect, that's fine. But the script that they're using are practically identical.
Across the Levant,
Yeah.
across the Levant, yeah,
But the
across,
dialects, of
yeah.
course, will be different because these people are in completely different places with little to no interaction with each other at certain times.
Hmm.
So, yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, so that's why it's important that see how we just described them as their own particular group of people that
hmm
we can't say that they existed before 1050 BC. So when he's saying we're talking about 18, we're talking in like the 2000 BC periods, and he's saying these are Phoenician. No, the brother, quit saying that because it's
no,
really
see,
it's frustrating.
that's why I was saying. I think y'all missing each other at certain points.
Because the Phoenician script to me, to me when I think of Phoenician, I'm thinking about because I associate them with the sea people. Are you
That's
familiar with the sea
interesting.
people, the Aegeans when they coming in and Ramses is fighting them and all, and then they end up coming to those and so this when we have Phoenician. It's not until the collapse of the Bronze Age.
You say
Now we have this Phoenician.
you see them
Hmm.
as sea people,
I see the
as one of
master
the
sea
sea
people
peoples.
as an admixture.
Mm.
As an admixture with the local Canaanites that were already there. That's why the scripture
Maybe, yeah. I
is
mean, if you look at his revised version of 799, something like that, Collapse of the Bronze Age, Eric Klein's,
hmm
he has a DNA analysis at towards the end of his chapters that talk about the sea peoples mixing in with the
Fijian.
Semitic peoples and everything.
Yeah, that's what I
And
think.
yeah, and that idea is interesting. Although we don't really know how like particular groups of sea peoples, most of them we don't really know where they came from. It's kind of speculation, good speculation,
Hmm.
I think. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Well,
but
we
like
got
you
to go to
said,
the Egyptian records for that because they do name them. The Peliset,
Ella
the
said
mesh.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. But
Hmm.
What
So
it's really only one that's the most famous is
what
Pele
what
said.
comedic source do they name all the people?
And they're not just in
Ramses.
Kemetic sources, by the way.
Hmm.
They are in Canaanite sources too, as well.
It's a gang of them. It's about 9 of them, 12. It's a lot of them.
And they come at different waves. They have
Hmm.
interactions. They have wars, fights,
And
and
they settle.
eventually settle. Yeah, yeah. Dr. Eric Klein book. It's a real good book. He talked about the Bronze Age collapse and everything.
See, I like
And
you. You're smart and your scholarship is unbiased. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, brother, if I'm wrong about a point, I know enough to know that I'm wrong. If a brother point it out to me, like, oh damn, you're right, brother. I know enough to know when I'm wrong when a brother points it out to me. Like so when I'm telling humble brother, Phoenician doesn't start until 1050 BC, don't use it before that time period, it's anachronistic. He should be like, yeah, you're right, brother. You know, that's how I feel about that. But I do think that the Proto-Sinaitic script is the Hebrew script.
yeah,
You think that?
Yeah, because
I
that's
would
the
say
script
I
that.
would say it's either Metal Neture or Heretic.
Well, it's not. It's derived directly. Some of the symbols are still similar.
I think some of the
They,
symbols. I think at some point some of the symbols do derive from hieratic. I think I'm
hieratic,
thinking about a different script though. I think I'm thinking about a different part.
hieratic is still is when they switch to a more linear
Mm.
letters. You know, more of a cursive type of a
Yeah, more
script.
of a, I was going to say more of a cursive type fancy script.
Than
Yeah,
an
because
actual symbol.
we also have to remember that Kemet is responsible for mass literacy.
Why
And
you
see,
why
but
do you keep saying that? How mass how mass are you talking about?
3% probably 1 to 3
So
percent.
you had so
Pretty
remember
big number.
they say hieroglyphics is the common language. So everybody to an extent had an understanding of public displays of hieroglyphics. But
Well,
then obviously you had barbarians in 2050 when mass literacy when history says mass literacy was spread, you still had barbarians. So it wasn't until the 25th Kushite dynasty to where they expanded, they start educating everybody, and then the 26th dynasty until they allowed Greeks in and other people in to learn about things, and then that's how the Greeks learned philosophy and all this other stuff.
I disagree with that. Uh, I would say that probably I forget what your first statement was, but just in general, um, they were always per uncs, right? And we have
So
sessions
can
to
I just
what?
remind you what my first statement was? It was just
Thank you.
mass literacy spread around I think it's 2050 BCE, and then being that hieroglyphics was a common language, people
Oh,
understood.
okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I wanted to say hieratic would have been the script that would have been the common day for business and things like that. Metanetter hieroglyphics, people wouldn't have understood, even if it would have been on display. They were mostly funerary texts. So imagine everybody knowing your chant, your spell, right? You know, it was a secret, brother. You know what I'm saying?
So
They like,
if you look up
and,
what
and
hieroglyphics is
hold on.
common, and
I know
then
what hieroglyphics
hieratic
was.
would be among the priest.
No, I think you got that backwards. Meternetter is would be for the priest, and even within the priesthood, even within like the per uncs, right? The houses of life, right? You have the sesses, then you have the hymnetters. I mean, not hymnetters. I'm sorry. I can't even think of the word right now. But it's even within the per uncs, the schools, all of the sessions don't know the spells or how to the utterances. You know,
So real quick, when we look up hieratic, it says relating to priest and priesthood. So
It
you
says the
can
priestly
verify,
script. I know what it. I
right?
know what it's gonna say. But that's why.
Metanetter
That's
is a
why. But hold
sacred
on. Hold on.
script,
But hold on. Listen.
but
Listen. Right. Sacred script versus priestly script. So this is why if you don't, it's a danger in AI and shit you don't understand. You
I'm
only
not
should
AI
AI
in
shit you
anything.
understand, or Google chatting or whatever you're doing. Because just because it says priestly script doesn't allude to the priests are only ones using the script.
But
It's actually
you trying to
hold
make an
on. So
excuse
hold on. No,
for being
wait.
kind
Not
of
making an excuse. No, wait,
forgetful
wait.
versus
I'm not. No,
referencing things
wait.
for veracity.
No. Now
So
you're misrepresenting
anybody
my
is going to make
argument.
a
Hold on.
mistake when they try to
Wait.
memorize things. But when
No.
you talking and you have the resources, it should behoove of you to look up the reference so you can verify what you're saying.
Yeah.
Don't
So
try
it
to
wasn't. It
memorize
wasn't the
anything. Don't
priest.
ever put the burden on yourself to memorize anything. If you have to look something up, look it up. But we can
Well, I don't.
discuss. So
But
go ahead.
if I know something, I don't have to look it up. That's the difference. If I know
Oh,
it,
well,
I don't
you're
have to look it
wrong.
up.
I'm just
It's in
letting you
my
know
head.
people are looking it up right now. If they memorize it, they memorize it. But people are going to look it up
Well,
and they see what hieratic is and they see what metaneture is.
we do know
So,
what hieratic is and what metanetter is. Hieratic will be what we use on the daily basis, right? It wouldn't be what the priests were using. The priests would be using the metanetter. So let's clarify that. The priests are using the metanetter. They're not using the hieratic. They're not using the are the pyramid texts in hieratic or metanetter? Do you know?
oh, I thought you was talking. Hold
I
on. What
was
did you
asking a
say?
question. Are the pyramid texts are they in metanetter or in hieratic?
Go ahead and let me know. Which one are they in?
Okay, so you don't know. Okay. I wouldn't have mentioned it if it was hieratic.
Okay, but what's the point?
The point is that those are the scripts that the priests are using. They're not using hieratic. Hieratic it would be what the daily people. For one, the daily people wouldn't probably even understand the hieratic. Those barbarians people. First of all, let's talk about it because the, it, the word dynasty only means family. There ain't too many people in the family, right? And the understanding of writing was passed down father to son to the set. A sesh is somebody who we could say somebody knows how to write, right? And that is passed down from father to son. So in the per uncs, it's probably ain't that many. It may be a per unc in every sapat, possibly. I don't think so. I know it's a temple in every sapat. I don't think it's an actual per unc in every sapat, but I do know there was one in Waset, right? So we just talking about the one in Waset, where I do know that it was for the. I do know the one in Waset was only for the sons of the elite, and they would, and from all the different sapats, different nomes, they would send their sons to this particular per unc to learn how to write. So it wasn't like this mass literacy thing you're talking about. Besides that, everybody else were what they would call damn near uncivilized. So everybody wasn't
So,
reading, brother.
I mean,
Probably
I
like
did.
one or two people.
Hold on. I mentioned that mass literacy was extended to people who could read and write, except for the barbarians, and it was only a certain percentage
Well,
within the
the
people
majority of the population
who
was a
weren't
barbarian.
barbarians, right?
I would
So
argue differently that the most
you
of the
said
population
something
were
totally
barbarians.
different just now after the fact. So and that's why I say one point at a time. Just make one point at a time. That way we can stay on track, and
Yeah,
we don't have to memorize what people say, and we don't have to memorize other things or whatever. So one point
yeah,
at a time.
I'm familiar with the geography of the land, right? So that's why I don't have to look up anything. So I know that when we go past Aswan, that most of when we start going into the first and second and third and fourth cataract, that really nobody's in the land of Noob and Wawat. Really, people don't live there. You know what I'm saying? That's where we find the Magi and the Magi, these barbarian warrior type of people who are actually still living a nomadic lifestyle. You know, So that's what we really find, especially when we look at the Simna, the Fort Simna, where we have ordinances where the Egyptians are saying, "Hey, no more Nehesies can come through here unless they're coming through here for trade because they're looting and stealing." This, you know what I'm saying? Like, so the civilized people, the elite, were far and few. The majority of the people they would consider were used in their armies for mercenaries, things like that, and they probably were illiterate.
Wait,
Unless
King J, you are saying what script was used for what people?
what are you talking about?
Or you're saying what style of script was used for which people? Metal
As far as
Nether
what?
was used for which people, and hieratic was used for the other people. Which was which? The
No, we're not talking
commoners
about a
used one
different people.
script, and the priest used one script. Because you was
No, that's
asking
that.
about what
That's
script
not.
Right.
That's not.
was.
That's not.
Right.
That's not.
So
That's not.
hey,
That's not what I'm.
he
That's
brought
not what
that
that.
up, but he trying to
That's
get
not what
away
I'm
from it.
saying.
So that's where he tried to go left with another topic. So
No, I
back
didn't
to the
distinguish.
erratic versus the
Hold on.
hieroglyph.
That's not the even. That's not even how it should have been framed.
So we
The,
know
the point.
hieratic
The point.
script
The point was I didn't
is
distinguish
for
between the.
religious
Hold on, brother.
texts.
Hold on. Let me clarify. You asked the question. I'm not distinguishing between the commoner and the elite as far as what text they're using. I'm distinguishing between the commoner and the elite in regards to literacy in period. The ability to
And that's what I'm saying. It should be one point at a time, so we
the
shouldn't get
ability.
confused.
Mhm.
No,
So
time out. Because you brought up about the high. You and Tahuti was just talking about, about the scripts, right? And which scripts was used where. And you was
right.
like, do you know what script the funerary text was written in? Tahuti said he didn't know, right? And I was asking, and you went somewhere else with it, but I'm saying, so which script was used for which people? Which script was used for the priestly people, and which script was used for the commoners?
Well, for one, there was most common people don't they weren't going to have a script. The elite wrote the script, all the scripts.
Oh,
Hey,
So
bro.
the common person wasn't writing. Only sheshes are writing.
What?
Shesh,
Nah,
shesh.
bro, you tripping.
S E
So,
S S E
so
S E
mass
hieratic.
S
So the
H.
literacy.
common people. So the
Huh?
common person wrote in hieratic. It
The
was
common
only the
person didn't
priest that
write,
wrote in
brother.
Metanet. Hold on one second.
Listen,
Hold on one
brother.
second. Hold on. They
You
are
make
the
you messing this
same
up again.
language, just in different writing fonts. One written in a sacred way, and the other written in a common everyday way. And yes, the commoners
And
was
brother and
writing.
brother
They were doing
brother.
tax
No,
trades.
you don't
They
even
were
make no.
buying and selling. They were doing all types of stuff. They were communicating with other people. You can see
Not in
they have
Matter.
whole slabs where or
The
whole
language of
papyri.
trade was
Hold on one
Akkadian, brother.
second. Hold on one second, Brody. They have whole papyri where the commoners talking to, is getting to like the governors and things of that nature. So how are you saying that the commoners are not educated? They had
Humble, can I answer the question before you go off on another
yeah,
tangent?
that's crazy.
Because humble, you don't know nothing the hell you talking about, brother.
Bro, he
Respectfully.
wilding.
For one, brother, let me respond. Let me how I want to. Because when we talk about simple things like if I ask you, okay, brother, we talk about the Armana letters. This is an example of the Egyptian pharaohs communicating with other people, and the language is in Akkadian. Akkadian is the language of trade, brother. They're not dealing in Metanetter and none of this shit, and it's gonna be through the elite, right?
Yeah.
So that's for one. Secondly, in the Metanetter, whether it's hieratic or Metanetter, the common person is not writing that. The sheshes in the schools are writing that. The sheshes and the per unks are
Bro.
writing the hieratic script.
Right.
The
And
sheshes
that's what
and
I'm
the
saying, yo.
quit interrupting my flow. The sheshes and the per unks are writing the Metanetter, not the common person at all.
The common person
Hold
writing
on, hold
hieratic.
on. The common person ain't writing shit. That's why they're the common person.
That don't make sense, bro.
Well, that's
So
because your
Right.
hold on,
comprehension is low.
time out. If I'm a landowner, hold on, no. If I'm a landowner and I have to write out a land grant to give to someone, what script would I write that in? I would write it in hieratics. If I'm a commentor, right, and I'm selling things, right, and for some reason I ran out of stock, and I gotta go talk to my man over there. I gotta go send a note. What script would I write that in? I would write that in Hieratics. So
also, if you wanted to know what temple you need to go to, or you was going to, or what monument you was going to, you would know how to read the hieroglyphic symbol
exactly,
on the building to know where you were going with it. So
exactly.
again, hieroglyphics is the most common language, which is why cuneiform is a version of hieroglyphs.
Mhm.
Mass literacy
Hieroglyph
spread
isn't a language,
with
brother. It's a script.
hieroglyphics, and then you had your cursive writing style, which is hieratic, which if you
What?
was a good writer, right, and if you perfected the art of writing, then you were able to write hieratic. But
That ain't no.
in
You made
most
that up, brother.
cases, hieratic is for religious texts and hieroglyphics is for public monuments and objects of all kinds. So you can identify the temples. You're not going to write.
Y'all can share
See, if
sources,
you want
but
to be a
y'all
common
arguing a lot,
communicator, you're going to use the hieroglyphs,
but no
not
sources.
cursive.
Tahuti, you can share sources on here.
But the Hootie just
On
made that
what?
up, and I know he just read that off a source
So,
because
so
he
hold
gave an
on, hold
exact
on.
definition. You gave an exact
So
definition
hold
of
on.
it.
So what did
What?
we just clarify, right? No matter what references we tend to disagree with, if we want to clarify things, we have to read up on things. You're not
You gotta
obligated
study.
to memorize anything, bro.
If you don't know it,
Why do y'all do that?
only if
Stop
you
What was,
putting
don't
the
what
know
was
burden
it.
that
on
in
people to
response to?
memorize
E?
stuff.
That
If
was in
we
If you
on
response
a
don't
to
know
me
it,
computer,
saying bring a source.
you said what?
That was in response to me saying you could share sources on her.
I'm talking to, so I got two people talking to me at the same
Okay,
time. So
it's
hold
me.
on.
Okay, go ahead. You
Okay.
can get it, King J. Go ahead.
no, he thinks that having knowledge is called memorization. In a way, it is. If you know something, you did memorize that information. So I don't have a problem with knowing something. Having knowledge of that subject. But
Nah, I think the problem is when we
Hold on, let me
disagree on something,
hold on,
when we go look it up, it
hold on.
becomes a problem.
And it's the way that you're looking it up too. A lot of times you got to actually
Okay.
read the book to find the information. I would just say
Okay.
this. So also, when we talk about the per uncs and things like that, when they're teaching the sessions, the students how to write, they're not. And this is how the knowledge of Metanetter actually got lost because they're not. They're once they started writing hieratic in the per uncs in the schools, that's what they started really writing in. You know what I'm saying? The knowledge of Metanetter eventually got lost. They taught the when you learn how to write, you were taught hieratic first. They teach you hieratic, and then if you want to go to learn the Metanetter, the sacred writings, it's kind of like going to get your doctorate degree, going back to secondary school. You know what I'm saying? You can
So
go
if
back,
people wanted
and
to know
those
where they
will
was going, all
and
the
those will
signs
only
and symbols and
hold on,
stuff like
brother,
that was written in
hold on.
cursive.
Hold on. And those would be the people who were the priests, right? The hymneters, right? Or the hep. I keep, why is these words not in my head right now? But yeah, even in the per uncs, there were levels to that, right? The lower level sheshes didn't know all the symbols, what it meant. So damn near for sure the common person didn't.
Okay,
You
A1,
really,
you
you
want
really
you
had,
had a question?
you really had to be initiated into that system to know what those symbols meant.
A1, you had a question?
No, I
You were
didn't. My
saying
bad.
something?
No, I was letting you know you could share sources
No,
and
I
shit with
know
other
A1
people.
back not be back right now.
Yeah, I've been
A1,
back.
you let the shark.
Hey,
A1, hold on one second, y'all. I gotta pick with my brother A1 real quick. A1, you let me out to the sharks, man. I've been calling for you, man.
No, I've been here the whole time.
Look, I'm like, A1, share the screen, man. Share the screen. I was all on the phone, man. You know I couldn't look. You know I was handicapped, man. Hey, look, they messed up now. I ain't handicapped no more. I'm on the top now.
Yeah, I've been sitting here listening to y'all for a minute. I was making your Cash App ad.
Oh, all right.
Do your
The
thing. Do your
scribes,
thing.
Robert Greenleaf, the scribes were the big dogs. They were the ones teaching people. The viziers were the ones keeping the records. That's the thing I have with the Hebrew Israelite people is, where was y'all vizier? Hold on a second, y'all. But and all of these, we talking scribes and scripts and things of that nature. where the Hebrews scribes at? Where's their viziers writing down their history? And where does that match up with the Bible? Get my survey now.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
They didn't
and
have
this
none.
the whole time you talk about religious and Bible stuff, it brings about confusion because when you come up to these terms, Proto Canaanite, Proto Phoenician, all they're doing is hiding the fact that all this stuff came out of Kemet. Your three parent scripts are Metanetra, Hieratic, and Demotic.
Well, demonic is Greek.
All right, Demotic is Greek now.
Demonic has been Greek. Coptic is Greek. Those are Greek languages written with uh, metanator symbols, Coptic symbols.
Gotcha.
Demonic is Greek.
Okay.
The word itself is Greek. It's a Greek word. Like I mean, like
Okay.
some things is just. But the brother asked about why the Hebrews and have their own viziers. I would say, why would we expect a semi-nomadic group of people to be literate? These people can't
What
write. They go herders.
you talking about the Hebrews?
Yeah, they go herders. He expecting them
So
to
why
be
would you claim their lineage? Why not be the Kemet you?
who
Why be a
claim
goat herder? Why
who
be a
claim they
hobbit?
who claim they lineage?
You up here
For
you
sure as
talking
hell
about
don't.
they yo, hold up. Anytime you tell somebody that that a people existed based on probability
What's
and
the probability?
mythology and stuff like that, 9 times out of 10 you identify or you have some affinity with those characters.
Oh no, I like his history. I deal with archaeology and tangible things. So stuff
So then that's why he
things that's not
asked you. That's why
objective.
he asked you, why don't they have any type of their own record keepers and stuff like that? Since they had a connection to God, don't you think they would have had their record keepers and
Well,
all this,
I
all
don't
any
think that
type of objects?
I don't think that's what he meant when he said that as far as their writing themselves into existence in history. I always just thought he was talking about as far as being a literate, group of people. But as far as like actual archaeology and things that
But that's how
they
it starts.
definitely.
In order to leave behind your relics and stuff like that, so people can find it and know who you are, you got to be able to write your inscription and write your names
Well,
on it.
well, that's not a good argument because, like I say, these are semi-nomadic and nomadic groups of people. Like they don't write about themselves. Like even in Egyptian history, the Magi, they don't write about themselves. We know about them because other people mentioned them and wrote about them and spoke about them. So, but if we look at, I always go to the Assyrians because they have a lot of the primary sources in regards to Israel. So we actually can see the people um, in the Bible, on actual, obelisks and things of that nature that we can say, oh, okay, this is this historical person that we see they talk about in the Bible. They actually
But
existed.
you gotta.
So
Then
we
that's
can
why
put
I
a
brought
date,
up
and we can put
earlier.
a date and time with that too. So like we know the
That's why I
Assyrian.
brought up earlier to GD Capone, I think it was, why don't y'all why is it always relying on somebody else's attestations, and then when it come to find out the attestations not even clear, they're vague, and then
Well,
later
how
on
are
down the
what
road the
what are
scholars
so
say that there's no way that this can say Israel, there's no Hebrew, there's no nothing. That word doesn't mean that. And by the way,
I don't think it
it's
do.
broken, it's fractured.
I
Like
don't think
my
I
thing
don't
is
think
you're trying to make a fractured stele become the word Israel.
I don't think it says that, and I can read, I can parse and read the metanoia enough to read the murder by Stella to come up with an idea of what it actually says. And I don't think it says Israel. So, but I
So
don't.
so give
But
so give the audience
that doesn't
so give
mean
the
that I don't
audience some
think.
artifacts that attest to the Hebrews, clearly the Hebrews or the Israelites, or it has to be Hebrews or Israelites. So give the audience like some examples of stele or even pieces of art, pottery, anything that has attestation on it.
Mhm. Well, I like to always refer to the Assyrian obelisk prism. I believe it's called Salazar. I can never pronounce those Assyrian people names. But my thing is that I always like to say before pre-Iron Age, we all we really have is mythos, and that's fine. Because every culture, group of people has to have some sort of mythos. So we have mythos before Iron Age. After Iron Age, we do have actual people. Like we can go look up Hezekiah. We can look up the house of Omri. We can look up Ahaz. We can look up Jehu. We can look up Jehoiakim. These are actual real people. You know what I'm saying? So I would say the Lakash letters. We can't forget about the Lakash letters. The obelisk is the Shalamazar, the third obelisk, the black obelisk. I'm actually looking at that right now. It depicts the Israelite king Jehu bowing before the Assyrian king. This is the earliest known visual depiction of an Israelite. So it says the black obelisk of Shalamazar would be the earliest depiction of what we would call an Israelite that we could look in the Bible and say, hey, this person actually that was in the Bible actually exists outside of the Bible historically and on a primary source that we can go actually look at and say this is how they looked. We can see the fringes, you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature.
What you think about the Zionist museums?
I'm not familiar with this, man.
You know, but you are familiar with Zionists, right?
No.
So a Zionist is a European Jew who took over the Levant and officially made it Israel.
So you're talking about Ashkenazis?
Yeah, I think they do actually go by that name as well, if I'm not mistaken. I'm
Mm-hmm.
probably like 80% sure that they go by that name as well. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
long story short, they got a museum, and what they're doing is they're curating stuff that they found in ancient Egypt and calling it Hebrew slaves and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a lot of the forgeries in archaeology that come from out of the Hebrew camp are from Zionists doing just that.
Forgeries.
Yeah, so you have forgeries and stuff, and they're not really. You definitely have forgeries now since they have a Zionist museum, but before then it was a lot of biblical archaeologists just
I,
trying to
I
claim
got a question
Akkadian
really
artifacts.
fast for Tahuti. Tahuti, did you see my presentation?
Yeah, I seen some of it.
What you
What
think
about
about
it?
it, Brody? What you think about it?
It was kind of vague. I was hoping you actually pinpoint some examples and some comparisons and stuff like that.
I did give you an example. One in the Book of Gates.
The book
Mind you,
again,
I didn't have my mind you, I didn't have my laptop, bro. So I was
but
up
you
here.
didn't
I told you
delve
I was
into like
handicapped.
what parts of the book of Gates, how you would interpret the book of Gates versus Eurocentrics.
Yeah, I did. If King J,
What
if
up,
he
though?
um if he got little thingies back up there, I showed you how the dude, oh man, I can't remember his name, but I showed you how he changed the Africans in there from one being white, from all three of them being black to one being black and the other two being white.
Right.
What you mean he changed? What you mean?
Oh, I was saying, if you could throw the slide, matter of fact, never mind, because I got them right here.
Okay, I was gonna. Okay, so what? So because the brother kind of asked a question about the importance of being able to understand, being able to, even if you don't believe that it's been deciphered, because it may sound crazy. I don't really believe that Champollion deciphered the metanator. I believe he categorized vocalization systems, but I did learn it. You know what I'm saying? I learned it right enough. So that when I do read it, I don't have to always go with their rendering, because you can come up with different rendering, and the renderings can be based off of biases, right? So sometimes you want to learn it so you can read it in a pure, unbiased. For instance, Wallace Budge in his dictionary and encyclopedia has a lot of translations that earlier I would say, had racial connotations to it, especially the word Nehesi. You know what I'm saying? So the word Nehesi early on they were associated with to mean Negro, and it basically just was associated with any group, Southern group, you know. But so later on, the word now, scholars' consensus would probably be that the word means Southerner. So
Hey, humble. Back to the presentation. You were saying what now about the Book of Gates? As far as like the guys trying to what did they do?
I think humble stuff. For what?
So yeah, I did see some of his presentation, but yeah, like I said, I was kind of hoping that he addressed um specifically what the problem was as far as looking at when it comes to looking at the Book of Gates, and he was supposed to actually give a presentation about race, how race was conceived, if it was conceived or whatever, and how it's Eurocentric to say it was say that the ancient Egyptians recognized race. But
Race as far as
We
the
got
skin
brother
color?
Sapphire on the panel. What up, bro? Oh, snaps. He dropped down.
who was that who just came back up?
Sapphire.
Oh. But yeah, go ahead about the Book of Gates or your presentation. Because it wasn't, what was it? It was about the Book of Gates and something else, but you didn't really dive into like where the
So
problem was.
basically, it was about exactly what you touched on. I just framed it in a different manner. Um, the issue with Eurocentric scholarship, um, describing what we see from our people on our walls, basically, right? It was about um the way that the Eurocentric people did excavations compared to how our own people, such as Ashwal Kwesi, Sheikhat Diop, and Fudishi, how they went over and they did their analysis. And I showed comparisons of, when they went into the tomb of Seti the First with the 18th, 19th century Eurocentric people, or like I said in the interview, in a presentation, uh the races, right? How they depicted what was going on in the scene, and I show how Shenkat the Diop depicted the same. I show how Ashwal Kwesi teaches the same. You see what I'm saying? I've
Yo,
also
you showed
shown
that in the
how,
presentation?
yeah, I showed that in the presentation.
Okay.
Um,
How do you depict to see this scene? You're talking about the Book of Gates, right?
yeah, the Book
The
of Gates.
the races of humanity, right?
So in the
Right.
original, if you
Mhm.
go to the tomb, you'll see um three melanated people. You see what I'm saying? But if you go look up a picture of the Book of Gates, right? By I can't remember the dude name. Um, by one of them dudes, then you'll see how where they actually did a whole lot more than just reconstruct those passages on the wall or those scenes on the wall.
So you're saying that the Egyptians didn't have a concept of race as far as how we see it today, because you say three of them were melanated people. The other group was what? So the Book of Gates is the Egyptians, the Nubians, the Libyans, and the Amu, the
Yeah,
Semitic people.
yeah, that's one scene in the Book of Gates.
The four
And
groups,
so
the four races of humanity.
right. or what people would call them, the four races of humanity. Again, this is why I like
according to,
Ashra,
because it's according to them.
according to
So
them. No, 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 no. Well,
right,
according to the people that
during that time
fight.
period,
Yes, yes.
how they
However,
saw it.
when Ashwa Kwesi, when people such as Ashwa Kwesi and Shankat Diop and others, when they talk about these things, they show how it's talking about a unification, right? How different as them. You know, all people are under the divine stature, basically. And so here in the Book of Gates, they're not showing a separated of race. All people there, right, are people of the land. This is why they're there doing a spiritual ceremony, because we all follow the same spiritual system, right? And so this is something that me and Tahuti was going back and forth for a while. And this is not showing something like, oh well, this is depicting this type of person, this is depicting this type of person, this is depicting. No, these are depicting the people unifying together under Ray. You see what I'm saying? And they're all acknowledging the power of Ray. And so that's what that saying is about. That's what that specific saying about. It's not about race or Egyptians distinguishing themselves or anything like that.
Right. So these are, you gotta keep in mind a lot of time that these are just funerary texts.
A lot of them are funerary
They're,
texts.
they all are funerary texts. And so there are utterances that are used to protect the Nasut in its travels. They're spells, basically.
Yeah. Well, that's because they're found on the tombs. You know, well, we know that's only because they're found on the tombs of the pharaohs. But we do have writings that are not funerary texts, like the maxims of Imhotep, right? Or
And either, but the difference is those will be written in hieratic, and they're not funerary texts.
yeah,
So inside like even inside the pyramids, we have hieroglyphs.
yeah, because they're sacred. Hieroglyphs is a sacred writing,
Hmm.
so it's not meant to be used every day.
They're
Hieratics
spells.
is meant to
They're
be
spells.
used every day.
They're spells.
No, I mean
You're not gonna take a pyramid. People wasn't walking around reading pyramid text.
well, of course, people wasn't walking around reading. What? Yeah, of course. What's that
Mhm.
point?
Real quick, Sapphire, did you have anything to add or comment on that you
Oh
heard so
yeah, brother
far?
Sapphire came back.
Yeah, yeah, I had to drop out, come back. Yeah, peace and blessings, everybody. First and foremost, all praise to the Most High, Yah, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yeah, I just wanted to chime in real quick. I'm just gonna be real quick. Uh, to what King Jay was saying about the what they say Phoenician. Phoenician is a Greek word for one, which identified with the Zidonians or the Philistines or the Philistines. So that's first and foremost. So that's like 400 BCE. So when you try to equate the the proto-Sinaitic or the quote unquote proto-Canaanite, that's something much earlier than what you would hear about Phoenicians. That is just a academic term that they use to identify an area. That's not necessarily saying that that is the script of the Phoenician or saying Phoenician is the script. Phoenician didn't come, or this script was not in 400 BCE or 4th century BCE Palestine. So we're talking about a script that we know for a fact is already art artifacts that's proven of this script being written in the Egyptian Valley or in Sinai, okay? And they called it Proto-Sinaitic. And another thing I want to bring out, when you talk about Ugaritic, Akkadian, okay, which is Northeast and Northwest Semitic when in the family of the Hebrew language, okay, um, they are distant. Like they don't have the same syntax, the same clauses. So when you talk about Moabite, Amorite, which all of this is like 18, 16 BCE. Okay, they have in the earliest script again is Proto-Sinaitic, and the only people that could be is the Hebrews. Proto-Sinaitic is most definitely the Hebrews coming out of Egypt. Okay, um,
I think you talking to humble because you repeated everything that I actually said.
All
So I think
right, so
no, you
you
didn't
talking to
that
say.
humble.
right
Oh, well,
there.
no, 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 no. When you talked about the Phoenicians, when you talked about the Phoenicians, you were saying that's 10th century BC, 1050. No, it's not. Phoenician is a Greek
That's
word.
humble. That's humble who said that.
Listen,
So you said that Phoenician is 4th century BC, Macedonian.
I said that Phoenician is a Greek word and it's not. It didn't come into existence until the Greeks. I actually said 600 BC, but yeah, I think that was humble's point. You're arguing against.
so my
Well,
point,
yeah, that, yeah, yeah, huh?
Sapphire. I think you
Hmm.
are arguing against my point, and my point is, um, the Hebrew language does not directly tie to Proto-Sinaitic. It only ties to Proto-Sinaitic through Phoenician.
Okay, that don't make no sense because when we look at the Armano letters are letters that's written to Kemet, and they use cuneiform. You have no early artifacts showing anywhere in the Jebusites, anywhere in Jericho, with this script.
What script? Let me ask you this question, Sapphire. What script
Mhm.
were the royal Babylon's inscriptions written in?
It would have to be Cunae.
No, they were not.
Okay, show the artifact.
Go do your
Show the artifact. You can
due
say anything.
diligence and go look that up real quick.
No, 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 no. How about you do the due diligence and pull up the artifact? Show me
Okay,
the
I got
artifact.
I already told them that most of the things are even like the Coda Hammurabi cuneiform, Epic of Gilgamesh cuneiform, Unanimate Elise cuneiform. All that shit. I already told him that, but you know, he didn't want to listen. Did
But,
cuneiform go out of style and be replaced eventually by Akkadian? Yeah, it did. So I mean, I don't understand what's his
7th,
point.
6th century BC.
Yeah,
Right. But when I jumped on that panel, I'm saying I already said, I was coming in to, basically what you were saying back and what you were saying, um, far as with the Phoenicians and stuff like that in the script itself. Like you said, King J, the Proto-Sinaitic has to be the Hebrews because that fits the time period. And and to say that Hebrews in the Gospel of Jude or Judah, it said that what Moshe was learning all the ways of Egypt. Okay, before that we have Joseph. He was a governor over the land, okay, of Egypt. So these are priestly classes, royal classes, okay, where this script would have been passed down to the Hebrews.
I believe that. So we agree with something for once. You know what I'm saying? Because like even at the Serbi El Kadim mines, they found evidence of worship, um, Semitic worship, and they actually find Yah there. They find Yah,
Mhm.
and they find Balat, worship of Balat. They find a Balat sphinx. They find Yah worship, and then they find Hathor worship there. So to me, I'm like, okay, when Moses goes up to get his the commandments and comes that and they think he's dead, they ask Aaron to build them. You know what I'm saying? He takes the earrings,
The calf.
makes the gold
Mhm.
calf. That's to me. I was like, oh, that's Hathor. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, I see it. So I see the correlation. So I do. I would always argue a Exodus story. I would give it around a 1450 BC date. You know what I'm saying? Opposed to Ramses 1250 BC date. So
Right.
I do see an Exodus, but not the biblical narrative, so to speak. But there was something. There was
You said
something.
it
And
was
they
you said it was an exodus, but not biblically speaking.
no, not according to the narrative in the Bible, but there was a narrative.
Why
There
you
was
say
a
that?
I could say there was a small exodus, but it had nothing to do with the Israelites.
but then that would be the problem then because I'm saying them Israelites.
No, they not Israelites. They were the Hyksos people.
Si-
The Hyksos,
Real quick,
Hekakasu.
gentlemen, real quick. Please welcome a man whose knowledge of Hebrew is as deep as his passion for preserving its rich legacy. He's not just fluent in the language, he embodies it, bringing ancient wisdom. Shout out Chasad.
We
How
got
you feeling
Chazad in the
today?
building. What up, Chazad?
Kasai, shalom, shalom, Mike.
Shalom, Mark. Shalom. Peace to everybody on
Um,
the panel.
Do you have anything to add or comment or any questions about what you've seen so far?
Yeah. First comment, man. King J, I ain't never heard you talk like this before, brother. What? Well, you finna be a Hebrew pretty soon. What's going on?
Hey,
I
yo,
ain't
tell him
never,
Chazad.
I
Tell
ain't
him.
never heard you talk like this before, my brother.
Tell
What's
him
going
Chazad.
on? But no, to get a brother his props, man. King J, he did say that the proto-Sinaitic was Hebrew, man. I see he been learning, brother. So I want to point something out real quick as the brother Yahoo was touching on. And my bad if y'all hear some extra noise, man. My dog, she don't want to leave me alone right now. So one thing I want to touch on the brother was bringing on when he's talking about these Semitic languages and everything. For one, I want to point out y'all do know for one the scholars they do say that the Phoenicians did not create what we call the Canaanite or Phoenician script. They did not create that. Y'all do know that for one the scholars say that. For two, when we actually get into these texts and we talk about these Canaanite languages, y'all actually know there is actually no actual exact language called Canaanite. That's the family that that's the name that they give to the family of languages that's all in Canaan. If y'all do y'all research, Amorite and Ugarit is not a part of that family. The family of what we call the Canaanite languages are ironically the languages that the Bible say descend from the Hebrew people. It's Hebrew, Canaanite, not Hebrew, Canaanite, Moabite, Edomite, all of those so-called Hebrew families, those are what is categorized as the Canaanite languages. So when we actually get into this and we actually dissect what these scholars are actually calling the Canaanite language and the Canaanite script and all this stuff, we actually see it's really just Hebrew. And all of these actually branches, once you can read the Hebrew and stuff, you can actually begin to actually look at texts like the Moabite text and all this. And you said the one thing I want to fight King J on, you said there is no evidence no history when we get to late Bronze Age. I would challenge you on that with simply an Iron Age stele that's called the Moabite stele. You know they talk about the Israelite coming in and conquering the land of Moab. There is no history of that outside of the biblical story, and that does not happen anywhere in the Iron Age. They talking about actually a conquering of the land of Canaan. So that's actually a fact that the
but wait,
Exodus
that's
did happen.
that's like 900 BC though, right? 850 BC, right? I
Yeah,
thought that was like that's Iron Age.
yeah, but
More
they're
guesswork.
attesting to something that happened prior. If you read the stele,
Oh,
they
okay.
tell
Okay.
you
That's what you're
they
saying.
tell
Okay.
you Israel conquered Ataroth in ancient
Right.
times.
And they got
They're
they and they
writing
took their
that in
shit
the
back.
Iron
Yeah.
Age.
Right. Right.
So
Right. Right.
they're
Right.
talking about a conquering prior to the Iron Age,
In the
letting you
bronze,
know
that
they're
happened in
talking
the
about a
Bronze Age.
conquest that Israel had in the Promised Land.
Yeah, that would have been. Yeah. That's a fair point. It would have happened right, and it,
Hey yo, so Kazai, what the Mishnah Stele talk about?
that's what he
Talk
just
about
said. That's what we just said. The
exactly what I
mobile
just
seller is the
said.
message
Talk
seller.
about Meshe's victory against Israel.
Okay. I
But
tried
that's
to
to my
trip him up.
that's to
Shut
my
up,
point.
King
That's
J.
to my.
Yo,
Go
King
ahead.
J in here, he terrible, yo. He messing
Stop.
up the
Hey, sit
cut-ups,
down.
bro. I tried to trip up Kazai, bro. King J talking about something. That's the same thing. Chill, bro. I want to know if he know that.
He know that he know how to read it. He know how to
Hey,
read it. He put
humble,
it up.
are you familiar with Czech Antijope's book, Civilization or Barbarism? Barbarism?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know about him addressing the Book of Gates
Yes.
and how he okay. So because I put it in the back chat. So
Oh,
that's it. I don't even need to further address it then if you know.
oh, you talking about on Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, where my Facebook?
But yeah, hey man, that's all I really wanted to add, man. I wanted to just throw a little sprinkle
No,
in there.
this
I
is
wanted
most
to see
definitely
if
some
somebody
good.
wanted to challenge that, but I ain't really getting no pushback. So I appreciate y'all. Hey, King J, man. Hey, I'm proud of you right now, bro. I'm hearing some good stuff
I,
from you.
I appreciate it. I
I'm
appreciate
hearing some good stuff from you, brother. Hopefully you don't change when you go back on Sinetta, man. You gotta keep it going.
Nah. I'm keep
Hey,
it. I'm keep
King
it.
J,
Keep it.
King J,
All
King
right,
J.
peace,
That's
Listen,
y'all.
love.
don't fall into this trap. Hold on, time out. King J, don't fall into this trap, bro. You better go do some more research in King J. Don't let
You were
these
talking
brothers
about that
tell
for
you
me.
you yeah, no, listen, don't let these brothers tell you on to the right path and get you stuck up into that pseudoism, bro. You keep studying and you get the right information, bro. Uh-uh.
Especially if you think Demotic is Greek.
Definitely agree. Definitely agree. That's when we see at that point we've lost all um concept of the original iconography from the meta netter. So like the first step is in hieratic going to from the symbols to a linear stage. We lose the so say the symbol for per the house, say that meant shelter. So going to the linear stage, we've made it the letter B. In the hieratic, it still has some form to whereas you probably could recognize it. But by the time you get to demonic, you don't know. It's just really the letter B now. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
you don't. It has
So
no.
it's I mean, I'm just saying this you got guesswork when it comes to the Hebrews existing, but
Not really.
demonic is all of a sudden Greek.
It's got to be.
Okay.
And make sure that you donate to Mrs. Cash App. How you say that, Humble? Humble, where you at?
Yeah, Brody, I'm right here.
How you say that on the screen, man?
What?
So how you say that? What's your Cash App? How you say that?
Oh, Wayno F321.
Okay, yeah. Donate to Wayno F321 on the Cash App.
Most definitely, man. We appreciate y'all. Hey, listen, I appreciate Brother King J. Listen, man, I appreciate you brothers when y'all come up here, stand on y'all square, agree or disagree. I really do appreciate when y'all can come up here and not back down, not be persuaded, and really take that heat because I most definitely know I be kicking the heat and I know I be coming strong. I don't ever want nobody to think, when I come aggressive like that, I'm coming against them or I don't like them. Hey, listen, we just in an intellectual arena. That's how we get it in. That's how we have our fun. So I most definitely appreciate Brother King J. I appreciate Brother Tahuti, Brother Yara who came up here, Brother Yamayahu.
Are you
I
gonna jump back on later, or are you gonna be when your next show?
Oh, I ain't hopping off right now. We was
Yeah,
just
this
he
ain't
we
the
was
end
just
of the
Oh,
show.
oh, oh, oh.
I was it sounded like it. I felt like it sounded like it
no,
when I
I was
said
just
it too.
appreciating the brothers. I was just appreciating the brothers.
Yeah, I hope your side ain't jump off thinking it was over with.
That's what I thought. I was like, now let me. I was finna cash that. I was gonna show cash up a couple of dollars and jump off.
Support the Cash App.
For
Support his
sure,
Cash
for
App.
sure.
Wayno F3. Wait, what is it?
Wayno F321.
Yeah, Wayno. I keep wanting to say Wayne of 321. It's not Wayne. Wayno F321, man. Go ahead, hit Humble Mystics Cash App.
Definitely, I
Y'all
appreciate
already
that,
see
man.
mine ticking on the bottom of the screen, and that super chat button does work. Appreciate you.
Humble your,
ladies and gentlemen.
humble your sister do tattoos.
Yeah, my sister do tattoos.
Fly me out. Let me fly out there. We can, and let's do a tattoo party or something.
Almost definitely. Hey, be safe out here. Hey, listen, only where you at?
I'm like outside of Chicago.
All right, well, listen. Well, hey, you already know you in Chirac.
If I only way I'm coming if I'm coming to you, so I know I'm gonna be safe. You feel me?
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. You know I got you down here.
Mhm. Set up a little tattoo party or something.
We get you. Listen, we love tattoos down here. I'm actually new to the tattoo club, but I'm most definitely getting some more.
They
What's up? We
addictive.
got brother Hercules in the building. What's up, brother Herc?
Hotep, Hotep Hercules.
Mm.
Hold on 1 second, y'all. My daughter's sleeping. She got this damn tablet running. Give me 1 second.
Mm.
Is my mic working? Can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
I'm back, y'all. Yeah, we can hear you, brother.
Okay, my bad. I was just over here
Get
talking.
Zell. I
I was
got
giving
you. I got you. I'm gonna get my wife to set me up with Zell, bro.
I
I
was
don't know
over here
how they're
giving
going.
King Herc an intro. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your seats because we've got an electrifying surprise for you today. A mathematician, a scholar, a man who wears many hats, just entered our arena. Shout out to you. Big applause to King Herc. Everybody should already know who King Herc is. Oh, you dropped down. Okay. Well, still shout out to King Herc if he's still around. Yeah, you got to set up that Zelle, Humble Mystic. I should have put donate to Humble Mystic at Cash App. I'll fix it later.
Yeah, come on back up here, brother Hurt. Probably he had like a phone call or something. So King J, you becoming an Israelite, bro?
That's
Nah.
funny.
I like the comedic side of things.
Hey,
I
listen,
like it.
you on the right
Like it
side.
over.
You on the right side.
You team Kemet?
For sure. For sure.
Okay.
I've always been that.
What you think about the Book of Gates? When Humble was talking about it earlier, and you keep talking about some other stuff.
I look at it as a funerary text, and like he kind of what how we broke it down with the depictions of the four races of how the Egyptians actually saw people during that time.
Do
Yeah,
you think
familiar with that?
because of that they had a recognition of race?
Not the way that we do. No, as far as like skin color, no.
Okay.
Because then I would ask you, did you have to be a certain skin color to be Egyptian? Is that what made you Egyptian, or was it your culture, or you know what made you
So
Egyptian?
when you look at do you remember the image off the top of your head, or do you
Yeah,
know it's
it's a Amul, it's a Egyptian, it's a Nubian, and it's a Libyan. The
okay?
Libyan is the one with the side lock. I think in some depictions, the Egyptian and the Nubian even look like the same. The only way you can really differentiate is by the garment, by what they're wearing, and the pattern
Okay.
sometimes of what they're wearing. But
Right. Now that right.
Real quick, gentlemen. Again, ladies and gentlemen, let's see if I can get it right this time. Get ready to have your minds expanded. Today, we have a truly special guest in the building, one who is both a mathematician and a scholar, someone whose intellect and insights are reshaping the way we think about the world. Shout out King Herc, everybody.
Man, you gotta stop doing that,
You know I gotta roll out the red carpet. How you feeling today?
crazy. Hey, what's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling? What you doing? What you doing?
Chilling,
Hold
having a
on,
good day.
Hurt.
Appreciate you pulling
Yeah.
up, man. Any
Hey, King
questions or
Hurt, real quick,
comments
did
about
you
anything you've seen so far?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Any questions or comments about anything you've seen so far?
Not nah. I just hopped on to join y'all. Just say what's up. Nothing serious.
Bet. Back to you two, King J and Tahuti.
No, Humble was
I just wanted to
saying
ask Brother
something.
Hercules, what's his opinion on the Book of Gates? Just a
The book.
broad opinion. You don't have to get too detailed.
You want the mathematical perspective?
Yeah, you can give
Nah,
us that too, but I didn't really want to go too detailed into it.
nah. I mean, what? It's we
Specifically
talk
the
about.
illustration, because it's a text. So, like, specifically the illustration, the
You
illustration
talk about
scenes
the
of the
fifth
book.
hour illustration.
I mean, you're looking at. I mean, we're looking at the depiction of, what I'm saying, our people and the foreigners is what, because it's not the only time they did that though, right?
Nah, they did that
That's
multiple
not.
times.
Yeah, that's not the only one, because I think they did that. I
Do
think they
you
did that
know
in I want to say they did it in Ramsey's tomb as well, right?
that is? Yeah. Now
Right.
watch this. What is that? What is that scene depicting?
What is it? What's the scene depicting?
Yes.
The
What
scene is
story is that
depicting
scene
uh,
telling?
that's like they showing you like the quote unquote like the race of men, right? Going in front of the
No. See,
creator.
that's why we got to get rid of this. This is why we got to get rid of this Western European. A1, can you pull up the slide? I think it was the second slide that you had
Yes,
for me, bro.
sir. Sure can.
Real fast. I'm gonna show y'all real quick. This is why we gotta get out of this Eurocentric way of thinking. It's not about the race of men.
Don't mind the chat GPT spelling errors. Of course, when we put the information in, the first time it was spelled correctly, but they still got to work those bugs out. So, where did I say it? I had made you a folder. Here we go. Hold. Slide number 2. Boom.
Right, this one right here. Okay, so right here, when we look at the Book of Gates on the right, this is the primary Book of Gates right here from 13th century BCE, right? This is what the Commissions did, right? Now, when we look over here on the right, this is also the Book of Gates, but this is the 19th century funerary Book of Gates. The Commissions didn't do this. So when we're getting into this and we're looking at it from a race perspective, they never looked at it that way. This is why when we say the race of men, that's a misnomer. Listen to what Ashwell Kwesi say. He say the stones don't lie, but the people who translated them did. Ashwell Kwesi. So we have to be very critical where we get in the translations of these things from. If we're not getting them from accurate translations, then we'll get the story on the right, the 19th century foreignery or forgery picture. We won't get the one on the left.
But the one you're looking at pictures of people people the same depiction. The other one's like you had there's a group of different groups of people.
All right, hold on.
This is just the same depiction.
Pull up the ones where they show the Nubians, the
Right, I
Amu,
got
the
you. I'm about to
Egyptians,
pull
Yeah,
that
that's the
one up
one I was
now.
talking about.
Right.
the
We
Libyans.
need the actual image.
Okay, now watch this.
But he's right. Even in that instance, they're not depicting them in racial different, connotations how we are.
Yeah, I would.
They're just showing because they're mostly the same color. Like what we're talking about is what makes their differentiated them was like the garb. You know what I'm saying? They might have different patterns in what they were wearing, and that's how we know
Well,
that they
yeah, I
were from
mean,
the.
to be fair, you did call it the four races of man before you got into that. So you
That's what it's
called
called.
it the four races of man.
Maybe races of humanity. It's what it's
Okay,
actually known as, but
right. But
uh,
still,
the 4 groups.
Yeah, because I
right,
mean, they depicted them clearly. There's different
Mhm.
right.
people, and they gave them
Well,
different
not as
names.
different people based on skin tone.
Yeah,
I see. Now then, I have contention with that
I mean,
because
I
I,
think that's. See, hold on. Here's the thing. I think that's stupid. I'm not so
can
used
we
to, but I
pull it?
think that's
Can
stupid.
we pull it up?
Wait, hold up. But I think it's stupid that we want to say that back then, they see a whole different group of people that look completely different from them and going to say, well, we're all the same. We're all buddies.
But they did depict them differently because
All right.
so
And that's why
the
I said when it comes to veracity, we have to use and trust our own eyeballs. If they are
there we go. Yeah.
depicting the ancient Egyptians or certain people who can be resurrected by Heru to be dark skinned and melanated versus the people who can only be resurrected
So
by Sekhmet,
he's
the
showing the primary
principle of
right there.
war,
So hold on. So
then
right
we
there where
have
your
to
mouth is
know
at.
that not
Yeah,
that
right.
one. We're
Hold
talking
on.
about the book.
No, he's showing it right now. He's showing it. You just don't know what
No,
you
no,
watch.
no.
Listen.
So
So
this is
No,
hold on
Combo.
one second.
Go back to
Hercules
the
asked for
I
the
primary.
am
book
gonna
of
go back. I
Gates.
am gonna go back, but I want to show y'all something really fast. Can y'all hear me?
All right, go ahead.
But just
So
real quick, there's two different ones. This is from Ramses.
exactly. Watch this. I'm about to show y'all something here, right? So I want to get to the one. I want to
This
get
one.
to the one. Hold on one second.
This
Oh,
one.
man. Hold.
This
Let
is
me zoom out because I want to show y'all what we was discussing on in the back chat. If I can get to the one we was discussing in the back chat. But this
But
is
can I?
the one we was discussing on the back chat, right?
But let me explain even to why this is a later, like 1250, probably BC
That's
Ramses
what I'm
one, and
saying.
why Ramses, according when Ramses, this is what people look like by that time period. All that damn admixture. When we look
Yes.
at that one that you finished show on the primary wall, that's Stella, that's an old kingdom one.
Yeah.
We'll see how the Egyptians and the freaking the Hessi, the Nubians are basically the same at that time period. Old
Now,
King.
wait a minute. Look, this is what I'm pointing out right here. Okay. So when you see a picture of the Book of Gates, this is what you see. Right? Y'all see this, right? Okay. Now, when you go to the tomb of the Book of Gates, hold on. When you go to the tomb of the Book of Gates, I'm trying to flip the thing, man. Why they not
Yeah,
doing
because they're two different. The
this?
tomb is two different
This,
time periods, though.
but
You gotta remember that.
that's what I'm saying. So you can't take the picture and say, oh, well, this is what these people are. These are two different things. This is clearly what Europeans are trying to. Oh, here it is right here. Hold on.
No, not
So
not when
listen.
Europeans, not when Europeans. This is now when about time where there's a lot of Mediterranean admixture in the
No,
region at
wait.
this
Time
point.
out. Time out. You're missing what I'm saying, right?
Because
When
the
you look at
Egyptians,
the
this
book
this
again,
is
hold on one
this is
second.
the
Hold on one
Egyptians
second.
depiction.
Wait a minute. When you're looking at this
This
in
is
a
steady,
book
I think.
cover, hold on one second. Listen. When you're
Mhm.
looking at this in a book cover, this is
Right.
the scene you get, is what I'm saying. Right?
Mm-hmm.
When you actually go to the tomb, this is the scene you get. So, what and the
Which
reason
one?
this is so important, hold on, is because they're clearly making distinctions here, right? That's not here.
They're two
This is
different
the
tombs.
whole point I'm making. This is the funerary book of Gates of the fifth hour. You see it down here on the wall, avocation of the fifth division of the book of Gates, right? Of Osiris, right? This is also the fifth book of Gates, right? But they're giving you something that's not there from a Eurocentric point of view.
No. Can I say something? Or King
Go
Joe,
ahead.
you want
Yeah, go ahead, please.
No, so I mean, you're okay. Wait, you didn't. I don't know. Were you trying to switch the pictures because you're only showing the same picture?
No, you see this picture, right?
Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
switch? We didn't see a second
Listen,
picture.
what does this say
What?
right here where my cursor is? On the wall, right? Avocation of the fifth division of the book of Gates, right? So then when we go to
What
this,
tomb is that? Is that
hold
SETI?
on one second.
No, you have to tell us where the tomb is at.
That's first. That's bro. This is
What do you mean, bro?
Seti's
Who is
the first tomb.
that's SETI? Okay, that's
Yes.
SETI.
Okay.
All
Now
right.
listen. Watch this. When we see that same depiction in a book, this is how we see it. Now, why do we see it this way? Because clearly, right, the Europeans, even if I could zoom in down here really fast, right? It's a arrangement of illustrations by Ernest Wellman Block of Richard Lupus, 1849 to 1856, multi-volume set of books, right? Demaka, it's a hold on one second. I'm trying to pull this down so I can read it. Dang, hold on. Let me zoom out so I can pull this down.
Your
So
screen ain't moving. It's stuck on like
dang, that's crazy.
the Book of Gates
Hey,
Wikipedia.
A1, are you able to share your screen?
Yeah. What you want me to pull up?
Hey, can you go to the Facebook group chat?
Yeah. That you want the picture out of there?
Yeah, the picture from Check
The picture,
Antidote's
yeah.
book.
Why don't I see the motherfucker? Let me refresh this.
This is going to be from Ramses for Ramesu 3, Ramesu the Third's tomb, but it's the same concept. And this is right out of Check Antidote's book.
I don't see it.
You don't see
Is
it in
it
the
wait
group chat?
the proto-scripts of all language?
Keep going up.
Civilization,
Yep, there you
barbarism.
go. Yeah,
That's
post
it.
that. Bring that up.
All right, gotcha. Let me save it first.
Where did he go, bro? But while you bring that up, let me read it right out of the book. All right. So what we got is right in Check Antidote's book in Civilization or Barbarism, we have figure 17, which is a picture of the illustration of the four races of men in Ramesu III's tomb. He says this painting from the tomb of Ramesu III shows that the ancient Egyptians perceived themselves as blacks and represented themselves as such without possible confusion with the Indo-Europeans or the Semites. This is a representation of the races in minute detail, which guarantees the realism of the colors. Throughout their entire history, the Egyptians never dreamed of representing themselves by types B or D, which would be the Amu or the D. So Check Antidote actually teaches that the Book of Gates is actually showing that the Committee U understood race in the same sense. And it says it right there.
No, you weaponize Satan into the up word, brother. That don't say
Let
that.
me
So for one, brother, hold on. That's crazy. So we see, so it's steady, and then it's Ramsey. So it's actually two depictions. But I like this one. I can actually read, what it says next to each one of them. I think it just says Ramet. So basically, I want to say this.
Ramesh, and that's
Just hold on, because I identify myself as a black person, right? And I don't look like A or C. I look more like D. You know what I'm saying? And I think everybody, I think every A, B, C, and D would technically, by today's standard, would be identified as a black person. To be fair, to be quite honest, and B, the Tahino, which is the modern day Libyans, they are more culturally what we would identify as the Egyptian. If we were looking at the garments, we see the sidelock, which is known as the sidelock of youth, which we see the Egyptians pharaohs that they tend to wear. Um, and we see the only distinguishing between the A and the C is slight marks on the clothing. So it's clearly showing to me that they're not talking about anything as far as race, as far as the skin color distinguishing anything. It's more of culture. It's more of a cultural. We see the distinguishment between what they're wearing, not their skin tone. I think when
That's
we
fine,
look at
but
that,
If
in
I
I
think
may,
every
really fast.
illustration in the temple, every B and D is the foreigners. Every A and C is the
Can
black
I share my
people.
screen?
well, see,
Can you
you
share my
messed
screen?
up with that because B, C, and D are all foreigners.
No. Let me share my screen.
Well, he told you what he said. So whether you
Well,
you
he
go
got
back over
he
him
might
and
he
try to
might
make up what he's
he might have got
interpreting,
it wrong because B, C, and D
okay.
are all foreigners.
A linguist,
So
okay, a linguist
Nubian
and a scholar in
Nubian.
multiple disciplines got it wrong. Got
So
it.
Check
yeah,
it
they
to
did. Yeah,
Diop was
he
not a
did.
linguist.
And you got to also
Check
remember
to
that. And
Diop was
hold
many
on, real
things,
quick.
but he was not a linguist. Let's make that
And he
very clear.
and he got and he did not have DNA to his disposal during that time period. So a lot of
Looks like
stuff he
King
got
Kurt get
wrong.
the floor. He's got his screen shared. We're about to give him the floor for a second. See what
Just
he's
real
got
quick.
for us. Take your time, bro. Take your time. Hey. Oh, I thought he had a video. Okay, yeah. I like videos.
And they translate this as man, Egyptians, Remech, men, mankind, Egyptians, so forth and so on. And you see in the tomb of Ramisu Mary Amun, also referred to as Ramesses III, you see this exact same Remech, two different types. One jet black, another one a little bit less jet black, but still black. And here you see the Remech as they depicted themselves. Now, this is brought up by, again, Mam Sechant joke that the Remech of Kemet depicted themselves the same as the Nehesu, which are what they refer to as the Nubians, right? Mm-hmm. So you have two different types of Nehesu, you have two different types of Remech, but all of these are Kemetiu, all of them are black people, right? So when people think Kemet, I don't want them to think about this as a meaningless label. Anytime they think Kemet and Kemetiu, I want them to be thinking black people. This is what it means as black people, right? So not only the same in terms of biogenetic and phenotypic, but also culturally, look at them wearing the same type of, dress. Meanwhile, you see depictions of the Amu. This is what the Hyksos were referred to as Amu. You have two different types of those, right? So these people who are, on the street corner saying, we're Hebrews, we're the real Hebrews, and doing whatever they're doing, this means that they have never seen the image of what those Amu look like. Those people who went on to found Jerusalem look like this, right? And then also you see the Chemhu, which were the invaders into North Africa, who were already in place over
Can we
3,000.
stop that? Can we pause it right there?
I'll make this point as well.
Go back, please.
Now,
So
also,
he got so much shit wrong.
I don't wait. Hold up. First of all, King J,
when
wait,
he's
stop.
going
No,
back,
wait, wait,
Yeah,
wait.
can I show
that's what I'm saying.
King J,
Hey, is
wait,
who
can you hold up?
can I
is
show the
who?
contention?
Wait,
And
can
then
you
you
hold
get
up?
huh?
Can you hold up? Can I say what I had to say? I
Yeah.
wanted to play it, but I also want to follow up with. First of all, I mean, the brother is a master linguist. All right, he speaks fucking 5 African language. Sorry, I know you're gonna say don't cuss. He speaks like 5 African language, and he speaks and read.
And we can't fact check his dumbass? Is that what you're
Hold up,
saying? I
wait,
don't
hold
care
up,
what his
hold up.
pretensions are.
You can
I
fact
spotted
check
some
all.
games
You
in
can
his
fact.
flaws, some holes
You
in
can
his
fact
game.
check them. You can fact check them all you want. But the
I'm
thing
talking about
again,
what you just
hold up.
showed right now, brother. You don't gotta
The thing,
argue with me, just let me
the
show
thing,
you.
Hey, hold
the
on, hold
thing
on, hold
comes
on.
in. Hold up, King
Let
J.
him land his plane, bro.
The thing comes in, King J, is that am I gonna take the word over a brother that don't speak the language and live in
No, but
Africa?
I want you
Or
to
am I
have
gonna take
common
the
sense.
word?
I want you
Am
to
I
have
gonna take
common
the
sense
word?
about
Hey,
what I'm gonna
bro,
point
let
out and
him
show
land his
you.
Show the
plane,
language.
I
bro. Let
want
him
you to
land his
let
plane, bro.
he landing his
Hold on,
plane. But
King J. Hold on,
Keep
King J. Hold on,
interrupting me.
one mic, y'all. Go ahead, Hercules, land your plane, and then we got King J
I
next.
think that's the thing that's the thing. We have actual black people that's going over there doing the research. They're not just sitting here
we
online.
looking
They're
at it right
over there.
now. We
They're
looking
over
at it right
there.
now. And
They're
we're gonna
over
come to
there.
our own conclusion what we
Right,
think.
they're over there right now
We
doing
right here right now, and we're gonna
the
look at
work.
it and come to
All
our
right.
own conclusion based
So
upon what we know.
go ahead, say what you gotta say, man.
That's all I'm saying. So when the brother is showing, for one, he's going back and forth from the tomb of Seti to Ramsey. One of these depictions is 19th dynasty Seti. The other one is 20th dynasty Ramses, right? He's saying we got all these two types. No, we don't. One is
Bro,
Seti
that's
showing.
straight denial, bro.
Hold on,
Hey,
are you
bro,
gonna
that's
cut
straight
me off?
denial.
Are you gonna cut
You
me,
just being a
brother? Are you
denialist,
gonna,
bro.
brother? Are you finna cut me off? Put it back up,
You just a straight up
brother.
denialist, bro.
Let
He's
him
a
Humble,
let him
master
land his
linguist,
plane.
bro.
Let him land
humble
his
control
plane.
He's
the
a
brother.
master linguist, bro.
Let him land
Hold
Okay,
his
on,
we know
plane,
that.
y'all
and
hear brother
then
A1?
you
Y'all
can
hear
play
A1?
clean up.
A1 said let him land his plane.
We know it. We know his credentials, brother. Can you please put that back up? What you just had up?
I'm going straight to Ramses. We're gonna go straight to his tomb.
Hercules, go back to
You
what
don't look at it? Why
go
flip?
back to what the contention
No,
that
we're
what I was
not, bro,
trying to
because you
critique,
not
brother.
you just filibustering, bro.
Oh,
We know
you
you
playing games,
filibustering.
brother. You playing games.
Now we're gonna bring up the tomb, like you said. If
No, I
it's
want you to put
let's
back up
bring
what
it
I
up.
was critiquing, brother. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't say put this up. What the hell
No,
are you
you
talking
said
about?
it was two different tombs, and I'm about to show you it's
Brother,
not two
I'm
different
talking
tombs.
about what you had up, brother. What you were showing. That's what I'm critiquing. Go back to what you just showing. Don't play games.
Wait, hold up. Wait, this is
Go back.
What
No,
he
no, wait, hold
actually
up.
showed was
I'll
two
wait until you go
tombs,
back
but
to
it
what
goes
the
the
brother
same
showed,
because it's
brother.
all in the same order. That's why I brought
okay.
up the
Wait a
B
minute.
and
Okay,
the C and
all right.
Brother,
A
go
and the
All right.
back
C
to
and
So
the
the B and
source
the
that
D.
I'm gonna
you
bring it back
just
up.
put up,
I'm about to
brother,
bring
with
it back
your
up.
master teacher just
Here you go.
showed, brother. That's all I'm asking you to do,
I'm gonna bring it
brother.
up. Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up. I was trying to go to the original.
Now,
The
also, you see
No,
original.
the
I don't
term
want you to go to
hermetic.
nothing. I just want, brother. I want for one. I want the one brother who to the
No,
hootie to
let
quit
me bring it.
talking
I said
over
I'm
me when
bringing it
I'm
up.
talking,
Hold on.
brother. When I'm trying to make my point. That's all.
You've been talking over everybody, bro.
Do you
So
want to
like
talk to
you gotta
Hootie?
if you
Go
can
ahead,
dish
brother.
it, you're supposed to be able
Go
to
ahead,
take it,
brother.
bro.
But I'm really trying
So
to make
what
a
we
fair point
saying
right
is
now. Go ahead and filibuster.
y'all asking us, right, to show y'all how we see it as the Kemetic you recognizing race. And we went to Shek and to Job and Obadele Cambone, and y'all just saying he needs to be fact checked. These are two different scholars that's making mistakes. At what point, and this is why he did a whole show about veracity. So at what point, how can we verify this if we can't trust Czech Antijote or Obadele Cambone?
Now, here's the intro. Thank you for saying that, Tahuti. Thank you for saying that. And this is why, hold on one second, King J. We have to be able to do our own due diligence, even if it's fast researching, right? We have to be able to do our own due diligence. Can I share the screen really fast?
Wait,
Right.
wait. He said he wanted to make his point on this.
Oh, go ahead, Hercules, and then I'm next. But I
No.
want to get back to what Tahuti said about who do we trust? Go ahead, Hercules. I ain't gonna lose my point.
Nah, King J wanted to make a point on this, so that's why I brought it back up so he could go
Oh, all
ahead.
right, go ahead, King J. You can make
I
your
did.
point.
I did, and we look down here and we see a lot of Faulkner, we see a lot of Gardner, so we know the sources that he's using when he came to these conclusions. I have contention with him making the comparison of the different dynasties, saying that they're simultaneous. All I see are two different depictions based on the different dynasties. So how we see in one depiction in the 19th dynasty, the Remetz are more of a red skin. That's fair to assume. We see in another dynasty, the Remetz are depicted closer to one of a Nahesi group. So possibly we may I might assume that it's Taseti, because a lot of times Taseti is the first known, but it is a lot of time so I don't know, but um I don't like him what that cross comparison stuff he was doing. That's very disingenuous. Because they're two different time periods.
Well, it's not
That's
cross
emotions, though.
comparison because
It's not
he
emotion;
says
it's a fact. It's
no.
what we looking at.
He said it's from King Ramses III tomb. He didn't. It's not from two different tombs.
One is SETI. No, yes, it is. One is SETI and one is Ramsey. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
And I'm
One
showing
is
you. Here's
SETI
the
and one is
picture.
Ramsey.
Here's the original picture right here on the screen. All right,
But
and
you
then
don't understand. Listen, what I'm telling you is this: you don't understand that there is a depiction in the tomb of SETI, and there's a
yeah,
tomb in the tomb of Ramsey. They are different. Go ahead.
can you see the picture on the screen? This is the one he was showing.
This is Ramses.
Yes, it was okay.
He
That's the one he
showed
was showing.
both. He showed both. He showed Ramses and he showed SETI, and he went back and forth on both of them and was saying there's two types.
Well, they have commonalities. That's why he compared the two.
He's
Right.
not.
And,
He
and,
said
and right.
he
And that was wrong.
specifically
They're two
said it was
different. They're two
Ramses the
different.
third tomb. He
And,
specifically said it was Ramses the third tomb.
and so he was wrong, right? Because we know now that
You
one is
see it right here
SETI,
on the. You see it right here on the screen, man. What are you talking
brother.
about?
That is Ramses, yes.
And those are the same pictures that he had.
And he had another people above them that was from the tomb of Seti. What are you talking about? Where the Egyptians were depicted as reddish, not negroid looking. What are you talking about? In this
Because he's
picture right here, Ram,
comparing. It's
and this
still
pic,
it's
and this
still
you shut up. In
he's
this depiction
still
right here,
showing a
they're
comparison
showing black
between
Egyptians
all
in
the scenes in the
Ramses.
Book of Gates.
Like, okay,
Quit
this right.
filibustering.
Okay, yeah. But he was, and he was comparing it, right? He was comparing them. He was
You don't
comparing.
even know what you were showing.
He was comparing it. It's
So
the
yeah,
same.
they
That's
got
the
it
whole
wrong.
point
So
of
yeah, they
A,
got it wrong.
B,
So yeah,
C,
they
and
got it
D.
wrong. So I know why you thought it was right because you confused.
But
It don't matter what you say. Check
You didn't
antidote
even know what you was looking at.
it's still
and
right though.
What?
scholars
You
agree
thought both of
that
them was
it
from the
is.
same tomb, brother? They wasn't. One was from Seti and one was from Ramses. So,
You making a whole entirely different
depicting,
argument,
Okay,
brother.
bro.
Shut
You
up!
making
You're
you
talking
just
over every
you
brother.
making a
Quit talking over every
totally
brother.
different argument,
Please
bro.
mute him when I'm talking,
You're right.
brother.
You're right. One was from Seti and one was from Ramsey. You're right. But his point was still the same though. The point was still the same.
His point wasn't the same because at that point his point was the premise was wrong. So at that point, one is showing Egyptians during a certain time period, the other is showing the Egyptians during another.
Right.
That's what that's
All
showing.
being black, different shades. That's why we brought
I
that
don't have
up
a
the
problem with
last
that.
time we
And
talked.
but I don't have a problem with that. But that ain't
Black
what we're
people come
talking
in different
about.
shades,
They do.
but
I
they
agree.
not
The
gonna
Nile
be
Valley,
looking like the Amu.
the
All right,
population of the
hold
Nile
on one
Valley,
second, y'all.
skin tone, right?
All right, hold on one second, y'all. I want to share something. And right here again, it goes towards what the brother was saying. It goes towards what the brother was saying earlier about how can we go and like, okay, we can't check these people. We can't check these people. How can we go and how do we now know what's right? Right. Well, we have to go and do our own due diligence. Right. This is what we're talking about right here. Right.
Scroll all
Let's
the way
read.
up,
Scroll all the way up. Right. Tim of
all
Seti
the
the
way up,
first.
That's petty.
all the way up, all the way up.
All the way up.
Totally different.
Okay,
We're gonna
Totally
go
start
ahead.
different
here.
than the Ramses depiction, right? We're seeing different looking Egyptians or rematch.
So listen. So now let's go down, right? Drawn
Mhm.
by amateur archaeologist, right, Giovanni Battista Barzani. The popular 19th century drawing attributed to Seti's the first tomb, which purports to depict four races known to the ancient Egyptians as Libyans, Kushite, Asiatic Egyptians, is neither ancient nor accurate. It is a modern European reinterpretation. This is why we got to go and do our own due diligence. Let me read that again just so people can hear it, right? It is neither ancient nor accurate. It is a modern European reinterpretation. So this again is why we have to go and do our own due diligence so we can find these.
What's the interpretation? That picture, yeah,
Hold on
but the
one second.
tomb of
Let me keep
Seti,
going. Let me keep going.
the tomb of Seti
Hold
isn't.
on one second. Let me finish. It's a made during the colonial era and rooted in deeply flawed racial ideologies. The drawing has become widely referenced, but its color palette, facial structure, and features order reflect 19th century European emanation more than the reflect any ancient reality. The scene found in damaged parts of Seti's first tomb has undergone heavy sabotage, loss of pigment, and restoration. Yet, despite this damage, remnants of pigment still contract the portrayal given in the European drawing. When original colors, ethnopigment parallels, and the full range of comparative tombs art are considered, their entire composition falls apart. Let me read that again. It says, when the original colors, ethnopigment parallels, and the full range of comparative tomb art are considered, the entire composition falls apart as an accurate depiction of the ancient worldview. Let's keep going. Perhaps the most visual, striking, and historically observed feature in the drawing is the pale skin of the featured labeled Libyan. This contradicts not only the physical anthropology, but environmental logic. The climate of ancient Libya would not favor pale-skinned populations. More importantly, authentic depictions of Libyans in Egypt tombs, such as those on the tomb of Hui, represent feathered figures in a variant African brown tone. So while Libyans featured African here, but they're featured light here. Again, we gotta stop going with this Eurocentric narrative. We gotta read it for what it is, right?
Okay, hold on. Let me stop you real quick. We got two Afrocentric scholars versus a content creator. You're reading from a content creator website. We just gave you a scholarly book from Check Onto Joke, and Hercules gave you a teaching from a master linguist.
This is not okay. So let me go back. So let me go back and find something else, right? From Ripolithic ethnic group Table of Nation portrayed. Let's go here. Does this help?
Wait, Humble. What's the point you trying to make?
The point I'm making, right, is that these people, this scene is not put together to highlight different races. Is put together, the scene is put together, right, to show that Ray has divinity, right, over mankind. And the people in the scene are people who clearly at this point in time are following the same spiritual practice. That's what this scene is depicting. It's not depicting, oh, well, Kemet is black and Nubians is black and outsiders is this. And they're not doing that.
Okay, let me address that real quick.
Hold on 1 second. Let me finish asking my question. I got you. It's just showing how Ray is the protector of the nations of the world. Is not highlighting anything about race, hierarchy, is not separating all of this thought that comes about Egypt or this scene depicting Egypt separating themselves is Eurocentric racist. That's what I'm saying.
I can agree with that. Or that you understand what you said. I can agree with that. But wait, before 2D go, I do want to say that they did. I can agree with what you said on that point in that scene. Yes. However, there have been several times where they did understood that there was a distinction between themselves and the Amu, their invaders, the people that was coming in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think it was Ramses IV who said, or was it Amu who said, don't let these people back into the country.
I wasn't trying to cut you off real quick.
But on that scene, like you said, I definitely agree with you saying on that scene, yeah.
I just want to read from the same source that he read from all the way to the bottom. I don't know if he read at the bottom, but if you still got it, you can read it at the bottom, Humble. Where if you scroll to where it says a civilizational view, not a racial view, and it shows the primary source, right? It says the 18th dynasty. It shows a Libyan, a Canaanite, a Syrian, and a Nubian. It says bow to Pharaoh, 19th dynasty. It says Egyptian wall. This is your source, Humble. Mm-hmm. It says Egyptian wall art does not display modern notions of race.
Yeah.
Individuals were categorized by cultural groups, where they lived, what language they spoke, and what gods they worship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? This is what your source says.
Yeah.
Okay. So that what all that brown black shit that's not what they was talking about.
That is what they were talking.
Hey, brother, I'm gonna reread your source.
Time out.
And this is what I'm saying. Y'all got so far away from the actual scholarship and what you see with your own eyes. Y'all disagreeing with one another now.
Hey, Hercules, you keep hearing how they keep saying you see with your own eyes. You see with your own eyes. You don't see Commission scenes. That's not how you read them. You don't look at them and say, oh, this is what I see. It looks like this is going on. It looks like that. No, a proper way for you to understand what's going on in the scene is to know what's going on in the scene.
Right. So let me address that real quick. Let me read the text real quick. Let me address that. So in the scene, right, you have to go along with the scene, you have actual writings that says Ra. It says Horus said unto the creatures of Ra who dwell in the black land, right, and in the red land. Each side of the black land formed of the mud, right? You have magical protection be unto you.
You way off.
And then it goes down and says that Amu is from Sekhmet, right? And then Nahesi and Ramech is from Haru. So this is depicting.
Are you talking about these scenes?
No, he's not.
Yeah.
He
no, you're not.
He can't.
You're not talking about nothing we're talking about.
That's why I'm saying you gotta know what you're talking about, bro. When we dealing with these scenes, we can't say nothing here is racial, classifying this and racial. No, this is a scene that's telling a story about how Ra, or Ray, as we like to say, right, is the protector of the nations, and these people are coming to give thanks to Ray for protecting these nations. That's what this is symbolizing. This ain't symbolizing nothing about the Egyptians distinguishing themselves from other races of the people at all.
Well, according to then you have to
humble. That's what
hold on. We just went to two scholarly linguists to verify what I just said, and you go into content creation.
Bro, listen, I could pull up another source.
And you can see, hold on. You can see, you have eyeballs. Listen, so if the ancient Egyptians depict themselves as brown and Nahesi depicts themselves as black, you can't go and say none of this black and brown shit because you see it right there with your eyes.
Well, okay, King J.
Yes, that is important.
Hold on 1 second. Hercules and King J. Y'all are students of the Kemetic science, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
For sure.
Okay. When you're studying something of Kemet, do you just study it through observation? Do you just look at it and say, okay, this is what this must be?
No.
So really. Why are we doing that to the Book of Gates?
No, okay. It's not a must be nothing. You see skin color. So first of all, race is the first thing you see on a person when you see a person.
Tahuti is racializing the book. That's what he's doing. He's doing that.
Job is too, and so is Obadele Cambone.
Okay, so
I just read to you. Check into Job's book, and now y'all punching backwards. Y'all literally throwing punches backwards right now, trying to fight it.
All right, let's try to clear this up. So, yes, what Humble is saying is correct. It's about, they just coming together, not like as different races. They just come together as a group of people and paying homage. However, they are showing us a distinction between the groups. You know what I'm saying? If they didn't see no distinction, they would have just painted everybody the same color. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why, hold on 1 second, Hercules. That's why I showed you my picture and compared to the picture you see in the books. Because what did I just show you? In the original paintings, excuse me, they didn't look like that because they wasn't focused on that.
No, the original paintings on the wall. On the wall. Wait, hold up. The original paintings on the wall in the tomb. They are depicted. They're depicted. You can see the clear.
What I'm saying is they're not depicted racially distinct as we're seeing in the redrawings.
All right. So okay.
Humble is right.
So here's the thing. In that scene, you can say that. But here's the whole overall picture. We know that the people who founded Kemet were African. They black people. They came from fucking Africa. I'm sorry. They came from Africa.
Wait. Stop. Because
let me, bro.
Damn, why do you speak every time I speak to
Tahuti? You trying to interrupt because you see where he trying to take it.
I'm trying to interrupt him before he go far with the bullshit, and you're not letting him go. No, Hercules.
Hey, King J, you can't be interrupting everybody, King J.
Hold on, because when he says Africa, right? Most of them people on them four races that we seen are African people, and they're depicted as various skin tones. The word Africa is not synonymous with Negroid. So there's Libyans, and the Libyan population is indigenous to the Nile Delta. So when we want to talk about distinctions, and we can talk about and ask, are there distinctions between the the northern Nile Delta, Fayoum population, and the southern Nahesi groups. That are there
That was a
distinguishing.
whole lot because if you say
Brother,
Libya
please
in
shut the fuck
Africa
up.
is
You don't
not
even understand the
African, Kemet
conversation.
is not African, you being convoluted. So like
Brother, those
Hercules, go
Libyans,
ahead and say what you was gonna say.
those Libyans are Kemet. The Nile Delta is Egypt. You don't even, brother, just stay out the conversation
Yo,
because you're
you
not even
just said
following.
it's not black African, none of this black brown stuff. It
I
can't
said
be two
black. I
different
said
things at the
Afro. I
same
said the
time,
word. I
bro.
said the word Africa is not synonymous with black. Before it was Africa, it was actually called Libya. So you don't even know. Just stay out the
So how is it
conversation,
okay? So then you contradicting yourself
brother.
now. But
Stay out the
anyway, here Hercules,
conversation,
go ahead.
brother. Stay out the conversation, please.
I'm in the conversation. Relax.
Are you finished?
Hercules, go ahead and say what you was gonna say.
So we know that the people who founded Kemet, they came from Central and Southern Africa. All right, and I'm gonna just use. I'm using the word
No, we don't know
Well,
that. We
See
don't
what I'm
know that.
saying? This is what I'm
We don't
saying,
know
yo.
that because, brother, you
Hey,
see what
let's
I'm
one
saying?
at a
Quit
time,
talking.
yo. One at a
Hercules,
time. You
get your
interrupting them.
boyfriend, please. Please
You
get your
interrupting them.
boyfriend.
We don't want to
You don't
hear
need it,
stupid
brother. I
stuff
don't want to
about
hear
how it's not
you,
Africa,
brother.
how it's not this.
Brother, we don't want to hear you.
and you
Hercules, go
start
ahead, man.
interrupting me,
Say
man.
what you're
We
gonna
don't
say.
want to. Let it, brother. You don't need your boy. Let him talk. Hercules, tell your boyfriend chill. I can talk to you back and forth without him jumping in.
So,
We
like I
don't.
was
We don't.
saying,
We don't. We don't. We
Hey, one
don't
mic,
know.
one mic. Hey, who turn is it? One mic.
I
Who
was
turn
trying
is
to
it?
talk. He
Yeah,
keep
I'm just trying. I'm
interrupting me.
just trying to go back
That's
and
what I'm
forth with
saying,
Hercules
bro.
without
Yeah.
Tahuti jumping in. He's not even in the. If I'm talking to another man, stay out of our business,
All
brother.
right, who turn is it though? Who
We're
turn is
not.
it to speak?
We're not
Right,
talking to
exactly. Who turn is
Tahuti.
it? Who
Not
turn is it?
yours.
Who
It's not
turn is
All
it?
right,
yours.
But it's
all right.
not yours.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on one second. Hey, Hercules,
Yeah,
was it your
humble,
turn to
humble.
speak?
Please control the panel, please.
Hercules, was it your turn to speak?
It's
Yeah,
Hercules' turn, but
finish.
I'm trying
All
to
right,
have a
go ahead.
back and forth
Go
with
ahead, Hercules.
Hercules.
I
All
don't need
right,
a back
hey,
and
King
forth,
J,
man.
let him
I'm
land
trying
his
to make a
plane, and then
point.
you right next, King J.
Well, I gotta take notes because he's saying a lot. I'm trying
Yeah,
to
take
stop him
notes.
before he go too far, so I
I'm
ain't
gonna,
gotta break down all the points that he's saying. I can just catch him right then, and we can. He ain't even gotta go nowhere.
Hey, man, you better
He's
get a
saying,
pen and a piece of paper, nigga. What you talking
yeah,
about?
but
You
I'm
gotta
just saying,
catch him.
this ain't.
I'm just trying to.
This
You
ain't.
feel
Come
me?
on, man. This ain't the pseudo killers, man. That's the dumb shit they do over there, man.
No, I'm trying to catch you,
Come
but
on,
go
man.
ahead. You finna say a bunch of lot or nothing.
So anyway, like I was saying, the people who founded Kemet were black people. Period. All right, and this is they, and we know this because they said that themselves that they came from the South.
I ain't gonna take no for
All
this
right,
shit.
and so the thing is that one of the things that Check Under Geop said is that if you want to understand the culture of Kemet, you have to go back inside Africa, and you could study, and you will see the same things in Central Africa and Southern Africa you will see in Kemet, and you don't see it on the outside, which is funny. So when we talk about them as describing themselves or depicting themselves as being black or thinking themselves as being black, that is just an African thing. That's just a black thing that they do around the continent in Southern Africa. And the reason I say that is because from brothers like the book like right here, Personal Divinity and Nature, Dr. Kamalu, in this book right here, is another good book called Muntu. This joint right here is real good. These just two of them. There's several of them, but they both talk about there's only one underlying principle of African culture that you see everybody identifying with the land. They, they see themselves as a part of the land, and they respect the land. And so if they call in the land black, and you ask them, what do you call people? They still call the people will also be called black. And examples of this is seen in Tree. I think, yeah, Tree, where Tree is the people. If you say what you call the land is called a BB mine. But if you say what's called the people, it's called like a BB foe. So it has the blackness, and it's the same thing in the Congo, same thing in Nigeria, same thing Kiswahili. It's the same thing all across the country. So this is what we see when we're looking at Kemet. They call this land black. And then then they have certain references where certain kings refer to themselves as being black. Saying they call themselves black. And the thing is that people say stuff like, well, why do we call themselves black if everybody's black? Well, if you're looking around, you see a tree, you see green leaves, you see green grass, brown grass, you see yellow lions. I mean, everything has a color. So and they looked at it because they viewed the creator as black. You know, coming from black being in Western culture, black is a negative. But in African culture, you know, on the continent, black is positive. So that's why one of the reasons why they depicted the creator as black. And that's why they wanted to be black. And that's why they referred to themselves as being black. And they saw a distinction. They did see a distinction between themselves and the other groups of people that were starting coming in and invading. And they made that distinction between themselves. And they wanted us to know that there was a distinction. But I think you truly like check it. Diop was right. If you truly want to understand Kemet culture, you have to read the philosophy and the works of the culture inside of Africa, inside the Congo, inside of Southern Africa, not the fucking Levant and stuff.
Outside of just Kemet.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yo,
God, this brother
Pete,
make it to that. So,
Pete to the
Humble,
panel.
I want to use my 2 minutes to
Hold
have
on
a back and forth.
1 second, y'all. We got a new host. We got a new person to the panel. What's up, Wall Street?
Family. Hey, down the hill.
What
What's
up, my guy?
cracking, B-Mo?
You already.
I just want to ask the brother a question, right? Because he does have a lot of good information, right? But one of the places where I get stuck is this more beneficial than knowing our current in terms of history, black knowledge? Like, I don't feel like we know enough about our black American history, right? But we can go back 2,000-3,000 years and argue over things when we don't focus enough on our own black American history that can potentially reap some benefits for us, right? Like, how can we make the reparations argument if we dealing with Kemet? You know what I'm saying? So
No, that's facts.
and I'm
If
not
I may,
shooting
brother,
down. The brother had good information, so I'm not shooting down nothing he's saying. I just wanted his opinion on that. Like,
most
is it
definitely.
more beneficial to focus on, our thing?
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
And I would
Let me
say
answer
this,
that
right?
too. Let me answer that too.
Right. And I would say this, right? The reason why I go so hard over the Eurocentric mindset is when we get to talking about the things that we do here. My cat is outside my goddamn window, y'all. I hope that nigga don't fucking fall. I hope she can get back. But anyway,
That's
cat's
a
gonna
West
catch it.
Baltimore cat.
But
Go ahead, bro. He be all right.
If we looking at this from a Eurocentric worldview, right? And so once we get to say, okay, well, we invented the light bulb, we invented da-da-da, they go back to say, okay, well, we got the father of medicine, right? Oh, we got the father of philosophy. And then, after a while, if you don't do your due diligence, you get stuck with that. And then that's still something that we can say, okay, they brought that. Okay, yeah, well, okay, we say we got the first car, but they brought this into the world. Until we actually go back and find out even that is a lie.
What is it again?
Now,
they don't have the first father of medicine. We got the first father of medicine.
Now, see, brother, I get your point, right? But even people less, and I'm always the dumbest dude on the panel, right? To make it clear, right? But even brothers that's as astute as y'all, we know that's a fact. Like, that's not even in question. We know white historians know these things are a fact. Not all of them, right? But the ones that acknowledge the reality of history and just facts for what they are, these things aren't in question, right? But then when it comes back to where we are now, right? Like, when I talk about focusing on African American Black history, right? It's because my argument was something like reparations, right? It's starting to change. Now I feel like, all right, well, we can accept this white man ain't gonna give us nothing, right? So what about piecemealing this argument, right? Not trying to get it all in one lump sum. What about getting things documented over time? So let's say we start with education. That's something American history can never argue with, right? Like, we couldn't learn under the threat of death, right? And so we know, like Plessy versus Ferguson, that's documented in legal history. That, for me, is a portion of the reparations argument we can't lose. So what about just attacking that, Getting that on paper, getting America to acknowledge, yeah, we did y'all dirty there, right? So now any black kid that wants to go to a 4-year university, if you go to an HBCU, you get a free ride, right? You don't have to have basketball talent. You don't have to have the greatest grades. If you want to get a 4-year scholarship, right, as a part of this reparations plan for education, yeah, you get a 4-year ride at the HBCU. What does that do? That brings money into the HBCU so that Donald doesn't get to say, I gave them money. No one would give the black schools anything. I gave them millions of dollars. They're still not happy. The blacks aren't happy, right?
So what sense does it do to go to a HBC when they have Greek fraternities? They pleasant Greek.
Because the overwhelming majority of black engineers and doctors come from HBCUs. That's the
Okay.
benefit.
Well,
I
they're ran
get
by
your
Greek.
I get your point, right? That there are problematic issues that may need to be addressed. I get that point.
Anything ran on this country is that white people got something they hand into it. NAACP. That's why
But
we can't really get
but
to where we're
wait,
trying to get
wait,
with it is
but
because
wait,
they
wait.
got the underhanded.
But wait, before we do that, I'm saying let's just focus on the things that are beneficial for us. So if we can't get the whole reparations package, right? I feel like we can't really lose in an argument of saying
Why Johnny
education.
Cochran wasn't able to get to do that before he passed away?
Well, no, nobody was piecemealing it. This is
Johnny
a
Cochran had a
new,
whole team, huh?
no, you're not understanding what I'm saying. Everyone else was looking for a reparations package, right? Initiative to make us whole from the entire crime that was against us. What I'm saying is, all right, they're not gonna give us that at this point. Fine. So maybe if we piecemeal an argument and start with things that there's no way we can lose. Education for me is one of those things where one, we can't lose because the crimes of us being threatened with death if we touch the book. That's documented. We also have things in law like Plessy versus Ferguson, right? But at the end of it all, watch this. The important part is this is one of those arguments where white people might not even oppose us. You know what? They've been talking about reparations for the longest. Yeah, that was wrong. Fine. All right. If we talking about college kids, all right, give them the scholarship. Give them the tax
Man.
credit for school. You get my point?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so you was directing that question towards Haru. Oh, I mean not Haru, but Hercules, right? Because he was the one talking before you came up, right?
To the panel, y'all all my guys.
Yeah, and then it was in reference to why Kemet matters as far as getting reparations and piecemealing things step by step and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, that's where I was going with it.
All
That
right,
was the
so let
point
me
of me
answer that real
saying,
quick.
that was the
Let
point
me
of me
answer that real
saying
quick.
focusing on Black American history. You get what I'm
Right,
saying?
that's
When we
cool.
know those
I
stories,
feel you. You
yeah.
answered that already. So let
Hmm.
me answer it real quick. So Kemet is significant in hypothetically getting reparations because you just said we don't know if we're going to get them or not. But Kemet indirectly and directly uh, promotes and inspires STEM through knowing about its accomplishments and contributions to the world. So hypothetically, from a European standpoint, if you have a lot of people, and not necessarily Kemet, if you have a black population that's getting back to their roots, they're starting to involve themselves more into STEM because learning about comedic legacy was inspirational, then that would hypothetically piecemeal certain things to get us working towards either progress or getting reparations.
But
But
nah, bro, that's not what
you
I was
have
talking about.
certain things, you have certain initiatives that are actually better than piecemeal reparations because you have repatriation, you have people taking advantage of actual resources that the European is going after while they keep pandering about reparations. Because we have to keep in mind, while they're pandering about reparations to Black Americans, they're going over and getting the real resources that could feed the world moving forward
But
as we
wait,
move
who though?
towards a new world.
But who's pandering to Black America for reparations? I would argue the Green Party, right? Jill Stein, yeah, she's pandering, right? But she's not winning. So she's not in control to reap the benefits of these resources that I agree with you, America is getting from other places, right? And what I'm saying is, with this reparations argument, it's a legal argument, right? So they're not really concerned with Kemet. That's what is circumstantial evidence, right? That's something that doesn't have to do with Plessy versus Ferguson, which is on the books. I'm saying if we knew more about Black American history, we could probably push the needle forward more on things that would actually benefit us in real time. So somebody asked me, why would I go with the HBCUs? Well, that's a good question. One, the goal is to fund young Black Americans in terms of getting educated. Two, if we focus this plan, because I don't necessarily want this plan to benefit where your man got hit in the neck at, right? That was the University of Utah. Nah, I'm talking if you decide to go to a Black institution, you get a free ride courtesy of the federal government through them atoning for the sins of what this country has done, right? Now, what does that do? That puts millions of dollars in the HBCU circuit. Millions, right? How many kids that don't get no bread from uh, University of Boston, University of Tennessee, Columbia, right? They don't get enough bread to go through the program, right?
And
But
they
if
done-
you
and they done
go,
all and they all done got taught that same bullshit curriculum. They done all went and pledged Phi Beta Sigma or Alpha Beta Gamma or Sigma Phi
but bro,
Delta
we talking about
Delta.
where our
They all Greeks.
engineers
It's
come
all
from.
it's all gonna go back to Greek. I ain't gonna lie, brother. Everything you uh,
So I'm saying I'm not
sovereignty.
even
You
gonna
talking
argue
about
that, right? What I'm saying is when we look at tangible things,
you want to be
we
you
have
want
to
to be a
respect.
sovereign nation within America for one,
No,
because
I'm
you're not
saying
an
we have to
American.
understand that
Uh,
all of our engineers come from these institutions. All over 80% of our doctors come from these institutions, right?
HBCs,
Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, that's where the undergrad will come
HBUs.
from.
I'm sorry.
Now, I agree, right? For them to become doctors, what
I
doesn't
think
get
I think more come from
hold on,
Harvard.
what doesn't get talked about, and I'm gonna land, my fault. But what doesn't get talked about is yeah, after they get the HBCU undergrad, they go to get their doctorate from a PWI. You know what I mean? Like they go to Columbia, they go to NYU, right? Yeah, that's valid. But I'm saying this is an argument, in my opinion, education when it comes to the Black person in America.
What?
Now, all the
But why are we
statistics they
racializing
threw at us.
medicine?
Hold on.
I just like I don't like these Afrocentric arguments, brother. It's
I'm
like
You
you're
saying
don't like
racializing
anything
medicine
that's exclusively black, do you? Or that's
I'm
beneficial
saying
for the black
all
race, do
the
you?
arguments that they throw at us, that we're the least
advantages
educated,
in
that
science and technologies for humanity, brother.
but
And
I'm
this is what
saying
and this is what I
That's
wanted
what
to
I'm
even
saying.
with
That racial escapism gotta
even
stop, bro.
brother. It didn't apply back then, and this is even what the brother Humble showed, brother, with the four races thing. We didn't like so even he didn't
Right. The
even read
whole
the
fact
whole.
that
He
you
didn't
calling
even
it the
read.
four races
yeah, I
vindicates
was
my point.
listening to that and that was a little
Well, no,
wild for
that
me.
just
That's
shows. But hold
literally
on,
why I hit the panel.
let me read it because and that just shows that like come on, brother, just like I just
And
want to read the
that's
actual
another thing.
source.
No matter what you read, if you start off with the image and you read it as the four races of humanity, that's case closed.
It's not that that's not what it says. Like that's just your Afrocentric negative
If
view.
you
But
go
what the
to
source
a
actually, I'm reading
article
the source,
and it shows the image and the
and
caption
it's
says
showing
the
the
four
source.
races
So
of humanity, case
yeah, he does
closed.
Are
have
you
a
gonna let me
slight
read it? Are
point,
you gonna let me
but
read
that's
it, or
not an
you gonna?
open and shut argument, right? What I'm saying is I'm
So I
focused
would
on the
like,
things
let me hold on, brother,
that
because
can benefit
you
us
spoke
in
for like
real
10 minutes.
time.
You just spoke for like
Let
10
him
minutes
read it. Let him
uninterrupted
read it.
about
Let him read
something
it.
that didn't really have anything to do with the subject. Okay, so it says Egyptian wall art does not display modern notions of race. Individuals were catalyzed by cultural groupings where they lived, what language they spoke, and
Correct.
what gods they worshiped.
Correct.
The drawing in question attempts to racialize a tableau that was never meant as a racial taxonomy.
I wouldn't
This
disagree with
mirrors
that.
larger. This mirrors a larger trend in 19th century anthropology, where European thinkers attempted to create hierarchical tables of nations out of ancient records that had no such intention. The Tomb
Correct.
of Seti was not attempting to catalog humanity into colored coded races.
Is this from
Just
the
Hey,
like
book
the
of
y'all
Gates?
tomb,
remember when
just
King J
like
was getting on me about reading
just
earlier, and now
just
he's
like
reading? All
Wait,
right.
just like the tomb
But
of
wait, bro.
who?
To his point,
Just
let's be
Hold
clear.
on
only a
one
few.
second,
Hold
y'all. One
on.
second, y'all. One mic. Hold on one second, King J. Hey, brother A1, you here?
A1, where you at? He might be busy.
He might be busy in the back.
King
But
J,
yeah,
is that from the book of
let me
Gates?
let
Hold on,
my plan
hold
real
on
quick
one
before I
second. I'm
even
hitting
it's
A1
hard
up
to.
in the back. I think. Hey, listen, if you out of here, I'm shutting it down. Give me 5 seconds, okay?
A1 probably listening somewhere.
Don't
Probably taking
shut
care
it
of some
down. We
business.
cooking, B-more. Don't
King,
do
hey,
that.
Jay, is that from the book of Gates you're reading?
This is what I'm reading. This the same
All
source that Humble
right.
has showed. I'm trying to read. I'm
Okay.
trying to read the last sentence before I can. So
Okay.
before
Okay.
we close, so it says where all groups were depicted, just like the tomb of we, where all groups were depicted as black or brown. Seti's tomb showed geopolitical realities, not skin color ideologies.
Correct.
When Europeans painted the Libyans as white, the Egyptians as tan, the Asiatics as pale, and the Kushites as black, they imposed a fantasy of racial order onto a text that only spoke of cultural terms. So that's what
Gotcha.
I'm trying to keep the brothers from doing that.
Now
Okay.
here's the point though, bro.
It wasn't, it was, they were not racializing.
It was impossible for them to racialize because the
Wait, hold up, Wall
reality
Street.
is,
Wait, hold up,
right,
Wall Street. Hold
race.
up. Whoa, hold up, hold up. I think, King J, I think we can agree on that. To Hootie, I think we can agree on that. That pitch that depicting in Seti's tomb is not about racialized.
Because when you're saying Africans and we're looking at these Libyans and they're not going to be according to what you're going to identify as somebody that's black, and
Okay,
It was tribal.
they are
It was peoples.
Egyptians.
okay,
They
okay.
are
Wait, wait.
they are who you would actually. The word Egypt comes is derived. It's supposed to be from Hekapata. Hekapata is a temple in the Nile Delta. So
So
they will look more similar to these Libyan type of people,
so
Wait,
look,
hold up.
bro. Here's what I'm saying though.
opposed to the southern Nehesi, Sapat, Seti, Aswan. They will look the geographic would look totally different.
So
Okay, I get what you're saying.
And also all they are showing is the variation in skin tones along the Nile Valley Delta,
which
the Nile
doesn't
Valley
define race. I agree.
Okay, wait,
at
hold up.
all.
Wait, hold up. I get what you're saying, and like I said, I agree with that.
You're doing the fallacy by saying
He agreed.
imposing our social racial constructs onto that it doesn't apply,
He
brother.
Okay, we
agreed.
get it.
Okay,
Let
all right,
let
all right.
Hercules talk.
We talk now. You proved your point, and I'm saying I agree with that depicted in the setting. I agree what you're saying about that.
No, just period, not just that depiction, just in general. Because
No,
Brother,
wait, wait.
here's where
we
we
can
could
look at
land so
we
simply,
can look
right?
at
The
we
reality
can
of
hold on.
race, the reality we got to
King,
deal
let me
with the
finish, man.
terms we're using. The
All right,
reality
let
of
me
race
finish.
is
Let me
that was a
finish.
All right, hey yo,
construct.
Hercules, you had something to say?
So I
That
agree
is
with that.
Hercules.
However, in the
Hey,
tomb of
look,
Ramses
we holding it
III,
down. We holding it down. Go ahead, Hercules. You got
in
you.
the
That was
tomb of
Hercules
Ramses,
speaking, by the way.
tomb of Ramses III, you cannot say the same thing for that depiction on the wall. Okay,
What you can't say about
and
Ramsey
you can't
depiction?
say that
What
it's not depicting making a distinction between the groups as racializing it, as we would say racializing
it's the
it.
same depiction. The only thing that's changed is that the depiction of the rematch has changed. So that means that there has a different Nasut probably in power at this time.
All right,
That's
so
all that that means. That's all that
all
that
right,
means.
so like I said
It's
earlier,
not a racial. What?
like I
But
said,
yo,
Why is one
so
Hercules,
dynasty?
okay,
Why does one? Why? No,
Hey,
I'm asking you
glory
a question.
hounded, he
Hold
gotta
on,
have
brother.
it.
Hold
Yo,
on.
he
One
just
mic,
got a
one
glory
Let me
mic,
hound,
ask
one
the
bro.
mic, one mic.
question.
you just
Let
went
me ask
on
the
and you
question.
exposed yourself. Let me
No,
respond.
I'm
Let
not
me
trying to
respond.
explain. I'm trying to ask the question. So why from one dynasty would it be such a drastic change? Why would 19th dynasty? They're not talking about race at all. But now here in the 18th dynasty, oh, now we're talking about race.
because different.
They
people
I'm
always
asking the
move
been
brother
Well,
into
to
I
talking
thought
about
he
him,
was
land.
question to
asking
him.
Hercules.
Yeah,
Only
him,
Hercules,
not
different
go
you.
ahead
people
and
move
finish
into
what
the
you were
land.
saying. Go ahead and
they
finish what you were
always
saying in
been
its entirety.
they always been talking about race. Is that you don't
Who?
want to accept it? And I
Who's been talking
told
about
you,
race,
hold up,
Hercules?
stop. I told you earlier that black people always
Race didn't
identify
exist then.
themselves.
Shit,
Stop,
Yo,
because
let
you said
him
that's my
finish,
point. Let
you
bro.
him
said I
finish.
made it up. You said I made it up. I didn't make it up. Now here it is in the book, chapter 4 or chapter 4. He says, my man says, in Africa, many peoples see a transcendental oneness of the earth
Peoples.
with the human community. The human community are seen as having a organic and symbiotic relationship with the land. So many know that in very African languages, in
So
very African
Hercules, let me
languages,
ask you a
the
question.
same word, the same word is used to refer to both land and
And
people,
people.
family, community. And I gave you the example in
But you
tree.
gave a wrong example,
Hold-
brother. We talking about Egyptian language,
Stop,
and the word is
stop,
ta.
Hold on,
You
bro.
stop,
stop.
stop.
Hold
It's
on, bro.
ta.
Let me ask him a
The
The
word
word
question.
is
is
ta,
Kemet.
and
And then you
it's
could
for
The
take
word
land.
is
over.
Kemet. The
It's
word was
I just
Kemet.
want
Kemet
to
It's
ask him
ta.
one
Elohim.
question.
And
It's
there's
ta,
many black, there are many black
brother.
scholars
You
that
made that
show
up.
you
It's ta.
the
The
word,
word is
many black
ta.
scholars, there are many
That's
black
The
scholars
word
that
is
Champagne
show
ta.
you that the word
That's
Kemet
Champollios.
means black land, and the word
What
Kemet
is the
also
word for
means
land
black
in
people.
Kemet? What is the
Stop,
part that's Kemet in
Hold
it?
on.
stop.
Before we do
You
all
keep
that, let me
talking.
ask
So
Hercules one
I'm trying to show
question.
you the connection with African people. It's a
But Hercules,
connection.
let me ask you a question.
Okay. Wait, hold up. Wait, I'm about to finish. There's a
Go.
connection with African people. There's that connection outside of Africa. You have to go in Africa. That's what I'm trying to show you. If
What?
they are identifying with the land and they calling themselves black, you can see the same thing in the Congo. You see the same thing in Kenya. You see the same thing in Nigeria. It's all over. It's what they do.
So
And
why
matter of
don't? So
fact,
why
you can
are
see
the
the
So
same thing
Deseret? So why are the
in Native
people in the
American
Deseret
culture.
not red?
So that we
We already answered that question. We addressed that.
so your
yeah,
whole
just let
Them
notion
me
the
of
ask
red land
Hercules
people?
them
You
not
one
playing games,
question.
understanding
brother.
race. I think
We addressed that already.
you guys just don't want to accept the fact that
Now,
these
I just want to
people
ask you a question,
understood that they were
Hercules.
black.
Hercules, I just want to ask you a question, right?
So that they were black.
When we're interjecting the term race into this conversation, right? Do you agree that race is a concept, right, that was created in America in the 1700s? Do you agree with that or no?
Yes,
Race.
yes.
All right. So if we agree on that, then everything else is a moot point. No, those people weren't talking about race because it wasn't a concept that had been created. It was
So
about
let me say this
peoples.
real quick.
It,
If white, right, came about to the 1600s, if white didn't come about to the 1600s, 1500s, right? Are you telling me that because they didn't have that word that Europeans and Asiatics didn't become racist until that word came about?
I'm just being very specific with the argument. And when you're
And
dealing
then
with
here's
race,
another one.
hold on, let me answer you.
If you don't
Hold
think
on. Before you
race
ask me the next
matters,
one,
what
hold on,
about the reparations?
hold on. Let's have the conversation. Sure, I want to answer the first conversation, right? Like,
Social constructs.
yes,
All right, can I
this
reply?
was this
You want me
was a social construct created in America in the 1700s. There was no race before that, right? Before Carl Linnaeus and the two other crackers that created this construct, right? Race was not the conversation. It was about
Okay,
peoples.
you're not
Now,
getting what
hold
I'm
on.
asking
I
you.
get
I'm
your point.
saying,
Hold on.
did racism and
Let
the
me meet you where
concept of
you at.
race
Let me meet you where you
exist
at.
before they said, "Oh, we're gonna call ourselves white"?
I got you. So let me meet you where
He
you
just
at.
answered your question. He just
So
said it's a modern day social construct, brother. It did not
right.
Nah,
exist
he
like
didn't
that. That
answer the question.
So
He
no,
just
I
when
want
you
to
defined it. He just
apply
thank you.
that to
Let me
antiquity,
answer it
you
though.
commit a
Hold
fallacy.
on, one mic, y'all. One mic.
So I want to meet you where you at, right? But I gotta start with the foundation of the simple facts. So if race is a white American construct created in the 1700s, no, there wasn't a conversation of race prior to that. But to the divisions that created this concept of race, yes, I do agree with you, they existed. So you can
Okay,
make
here we go.
arguments for these things. But if we're
Right.
dealing
But
with,
if you can agree that
hold on,
something existed
come on,
without the
bro.
word, then you can say in ancient times they could recognize race.
Nah, I can't do that.
So here's the
Why
thing.
I
not?
have to
Conjecture.
deal with
Here's why
what
you're
they
No, that's
would
wrong.
crazy.
recognize
No,
And here's
no,
why.
race
no, you
for.
can't do
Wait,
that.
you asked me the question. You asked me the question. Let me answer it. You asked me the question, and I'm gonna say here's why you're wrong, because as Obadale has shown in his work, that they at that time period they did identify, they did unite together. And he has the letter. He's transliterated the letters that from kings to kings, from counties, whatever. I
Those are
forgot
people.
exactly, but it's in his book. It's in his book, and he's showing you that they requesting, yo, we're both black people, we're both this had the same phenotype, we need to unite together to fight out, to keep out these enemies that are coming in. He shows you, he goes through the letters, so
I got you.
they did identify and understood that they are the same
That's
group of
that's
people. They
bogus,
not,
bro.
wait,
Because
hold
the
up, no,
Assyrians and the
wait,
Persians
What?
were
hold
both
up,
depicted as
no,
black
no,
people
you
too.
can't say it's bogus until you prove his work wrong. All
So
right.
wait,
Yeah, but
it's
Right.
first of
He's
not.
a
all,
I
these
master
people are
linguist
not
for the
separated.
don't want to. I don't want to
Wait,
hear that.
brother.
I
Let's
don't want to
take
8888
hear
it
that. I don't want to
slow,
hear
times,
that.
Oh
bro.
brother.
my
Let's
I don't
take
want
it
God!
to. I
slow,
don't want to hear
brother.
that at all
Right?
until you prove his work wrong.
So
All
Yeah,
right.
these
Hercules,
people are
I
not
I'm
want to prove
not
his
identical.
work
One
until you
mic,
prove his
one
disagreeing.
work.
Master
mic, y'all.
linguist.
Hercules, hear what I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with you, and
Right,
I'm not trying to disprove
right.
his work. Right?
I'm
I am
disagreeing.
trying to put it in the proper context. So, in the proper context, no, there wasn't this construct of race when these people you're talking about were alive, right? It was more about peoples. And there were clear differences between certain people. So I'm not trying to disprove his work. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying we can't apply that to a construct that hadn't been created yet.
Okay.
I
Race
don't
was
know.
not a
I disagree because this. Okay, I'm just. This is real short. I'm not gonna be long. I disagree because I think he's shown us that back then they while they wasn't using the word race, and they probably don't use it in the context that we use today. However, you could see that they were uniting
Who's they?
together
so I'm saying meet me
on a
where
No.
construct
Who's they?
that
meet
they
Who's
me
were
they?
the
where
same
we
phenotype.
agree. Meet me where we
So
agree, Hercules, is what I'm saying, right? I can understand the premise of your argument, right? But what I'm saying to you is when we use these specific terms, you can't apply to people something that didn't exist. The construct of race did not exist yet. They were moving on peoples, right? They were saying there was differences between groups of people. Now, I would agree with you, right? This lays the foundation for differentiating
For
between these groups
racism,
even
basically.
more for race, right? I would agree with
Scientific
that.
racism.
I would agree with
Right.
that,
When we
right?
start
But I'm
talking about the phenotypes and we start talking about, hey, nasal width. No,
Right.
nasal width
I
does
mean,
not. Nasal width
there's a
is
difference.
according to your
cranial
But
geographical
my
size,
thing
all
location.
of
is,
that.
it's okay to
There
have
is a
an
difference.
opinion, King J, but you going against primary texts that say they talked about the stuff, man. Like
And
you
there's
just
a
denying
What primary
No,
Bro,
no,
you
text
everything,
don't
are
no.
bro.
know.
we?
Primary
You don't
texts
even
Primary
talk
text are
about
understand,
we?
bro.
race.
What primary
there's a
text are we
complete
talking about?
difference between us and
You will
other
not
groups of
find
people.
race documented prior to the 1700s. You won't.
Not at
What
all.
primary text are we
Right,
talking
but
about?
you will find prejudiced people and racist people
So I'm
They
doing
saying,
show
meet
things
me
all
based
the
where we
on
time
agree.
skin color.
differences based
So
on
I'm saying,
cultural
meet me
Wait,
where we agree.
differences.
wait, hold
I
up. Wasn't there a
agree.
book? Wait, hold up. Wasn't there a book written in didn't Professor Small talk about a book written in ancient Iraq called about the superiority of the black race? With this by somebody, I forgot the name of it. I gotta
There
find that,
was no
yo.
construct of
I
race
gotta
yet,
find that,
though.
yo.
You know
Hold
what I
up.
mean? Like,
And then another thing is we got to pay
I
attention
never.
to as well. If you want to be a racial escapist, how are you going to get your reparations? Like if
So
race
that
is just a social construct, how are you going to
bingo,
piecemeal getting reparations from your racial
bingo.
enemy?
So now you brought it full circle to my point, right? Like, if you just strictly start with the history we know and then move backwards from there, right? Instead of trying to start in Kemet and then get to 2026, right? If you start with the history we know, we have a clear case for reparations. The
Mhm.
question would
Right,
be
but just as
how,
I
hold on,
already
hold on, hold on,
explained,
real
Kemet
quick, real
allows
quick. Let me
you to
finish,
study
bro.
your history today as
Hold
well
on,
and be
but let
more
me
aware
finish.
of your surroundings. So Kemet is important for
All right, but
knowing
let me
your
finish though.
history today and
Not,
all
well,
your
We're
not
not
really.
surroundings and what
arguing
you're
that.
dealing with.
I'm
Not
not
That was the
really.
point.
arguing with you on that, right? What
Not
I'm
really.
saying is
Right.
if we start
Always
with the
right.
history we can 100% verify. We can verify the last 200 years, right? These things are documented. A lot of these things aren't in question, right? That's where our reparations argument lies. Our reparations argument lies with Plessy versus Ferguson, not Kemet, right? Our,
Yeah,
our
I don't think.
reparations argument deals with the testimony of documented slaves, even Frederick Douglass talking about learning how to read under the fear of death, right? So I'm
Well,
saying,
Okay.
Kemet teaches you how to unite via race so you can get reparations. Because if
That's
we're
crazy.
all divided and we're not worried about race, obviously he's not going to be compelled to give you reparations if you're trying to if you're enthusiastic about assimilating in this society. Do you think he's going to be compelled to give you reparations?
Hercules, you my God, but what you're not doing is meeting me at a place where we agree, right? We do agree on these things that you're trying to argue. I'm not arguing those things. What I'm telling you is
No, that's
if
Tahuti. That's
in the
Tahuti when he was talking.
construct of American law, we are going to get any form of reparations, number one, it's going to be what we can prove. Number two, it's going to be what we can sell to this white American government, right? This is why when I talk about a
Well,
different approach towards reparations, I focus on education because even white folk won't fight us on that. This is when we can turn their argument against them. Oh, they don't know how to read, they don't learn, they don't graduate high school. Yeah, there's a reason for it, right?
Really fast, y'all. We got someone new to the panel. We got the People's Champ on the panel. What up, People's Champ?
Your internet working?
yeah, I'm just listening. Y'all go ahead. Thank you,
All
though.
right,
Thank
most
you.
definitely, most definitely.
Hey, Wall Street,
That
that
was
was
just
Tahuti talking, not me.
all right. So somebody we gonna go in with it. Go ahead in on it, y'all. Y'all got 15 more minutes and then I'm shutting it down. Go ahead, y'all.
Yo, I just want to say I don't think we're going to. I don't. If I would say this, if America wanted to give black people reparations, it would have been happened. It would have already happened. All right. I just personally don't feel. I feel like a blood debts need to be repaid in blood. Because what value are you going to put on a woman being hanged and her child being ripped out of her stomach? What kind of value
Exactly.
you put on that? So I just feel like them Bamas, if they wanted to give us reparations, that shit would have been happened. And if we want reparations, we gonna have to just take it. But
So
like King was saying, there's too many of us who want to be a part of these honorary white boys societies, want to be Greeks and shit. You know, and it's just too many of us, and we're inbred into the society. So you know, they ain't gonna want to break the chains, break the
No.
arms of white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like it's. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's wild.
From a hypothetical
but
sense, the only way that they would be compelled to give us reparations, if they would do it, is if everybody unites and gets back to Africa on to have something to stand on, resourceful.
that'll never happen.
No, they know that.
That ain't
Okay,
gonna
So
so
happen.
there
so
you
for
go.
me,
You're not
go
gonna get
ahead.
reparations then.
Nah,
People think.
To the
because I
brother, to
don't
the
think
brother,
that
real quick.
determines whether we can give reparations or not. Again,
Right.
it's gonna
Right.
be about the argument we can prove, right?
Right.
So
Wait,
if
hold on.
we
To Wall
hold
Street
on
will.
real quick, bro, real quick. If we're dealing with the arguments that we can prove, Kemet is a harder argument to make as much as we know this is the reality of our history, right? What I'm saying is the argument we can make is Plessy versus Ferguson, right? That's documented in this white structure as
I
being
don't.
fact. We don't have to
Not even that
fight that.
though.
But it still come down to them be like, yo, so what? Because it's who has the
Right.
power. If you ain't got the power to make them, you could prove all you want, and they could just be like, nigga, so what? You know, I ain't gonna
And
pay
yeah,
you.
you mentioned
Hold on. To
piecemeal
Wall.
too. So piecemealing and
Oh
arguing is
my
two
God.
different things. So your piecemeal comes from you being Afrocentric because it puts work to action. Remember when I say it, if the legacy of Kemet inspires STEM, and you keep talking about education, then you have to look at Kemet as an inspiration to the younger generation to
No,
get them to want to mimic their
black
ancestors who
people
were
ain't
the
got nothing to
first
do with.
scientists, the first architects.
See, that's where you got it wrong.
So
So I think, hold on, real
Hey,
quick,
you know how it feels
because
now.
hold
You know how
on,
it
So
because
the
feels.
I
so
think, I think he
the
got it
goal is to
wrong.
be
Because
an
Go ahead, Jay.
hold
Hey,
on,
go ahead,
brother,
Jay.
give
That's
me
cool.
30
One
seconds,
mic,
bro,
one
30
mic.
seconds. I've been waiting to speak just for. I haven't even responded. We don't claim lineage from Egypt, brother. Most people of African in America descent claim West African lineage. It will be from West Africa, not Egypt
I
at
thought you
all.
was
So
claiming Kemet earlier
I just
though.
want to,
Didn't
I
because
do, I
A1
do,
asked you.
I do.
Okay. Oh,
That has
okay.
nothing to
All
do with
right.
nothing.
Keep going.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't.
So
Yeah, I agree. I agree. We don't claim
yeah,
lineage. Yeah.
it's through West Africa for one, and secondly, I do. So Johnny Cochran, when he was fighting the Reparations Act, to my understanding, he was basically saying, "Hey, these banks and these businesses have made so much money off of slavery, they owe us." That was his angle. But I do think he lost that. There was a there what they did say there was a statute of limitations. 82 years was, I think, back
Really?
then. So
I
that's
didn't
what
know
I
that.
wanted to ask. Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask you. Did you know about the statute of limitations? The Supreme Court had, I think, declined the appeal in like '05
but they didn't put
For
a statute of
reparations. For real?
limitations
for
on
reparations. Yeah,
reparations
for reparations. They say
because
it's been too long.
America for the first time is literally
So what do you
starting
think
to
about? So what do you think
acknowledge.
about? So hold on, brother. This is answer the question. It's been 82 years. It did not pass the statute of limitations. Is that even an argument that we can even make now?
No, I don't think the argument of reparations deals with a statute of limitations, right?
Okay,
There's
but it
no,
does. But it
hold
does.
on.
I'm reading the order right here. So let's just deal with that because I don't want you to keep making an argument that we
Okay,
don't
what's
even
the
have to
Hey,
order?
can
hear.
you read it? Hey,
He
wait. Can you
reading.
read it real quick? Hey, let Jay. Can you read it
Yeah.
real quick?
What's the order? And then we're gonna talk about HR 40. But go ahead.
It's the Supreme Court order. So basically, it says that the Supreme Court declined an appeal in '05. Let me see if I can pull up the actual order. Uh,
And
Yeah,
while
let
the
you
me read
looking
HR
and
40.
while you looking for that, what I'm
Let me
saying
name
is
of
for
this,
a
right?
minute.
Hey, can you read HR 40 while he looking for it?
So, but so I can. I'm not gonna pull it up and read it, but I'll give
All right, I'm just looking for it. It says
just a
HR.
brief setup of it. Right? It's a think tank in terms of potentially acknowledging the need for reparations and paying it out. But what I'm saying is that's something that ain't even 10 years old, right? So when you
Hey,
talk
wait.
about this
HR 40 what?
conversation,
HR
huh?
40 what?
Just put in HR 40, it'll pull up the
But
whole.
a couple of things came up.
It's a study. It what HR 40 is a study. It's not any type of push for any bill or any legislation or anything finite, right? But it's a study into saying, yeah, we can acknowledge this group of people does deserve reparations, right? My point in bringing that up is, uh, what is it? Statute of limitations don't
Yeah, that's what
even
he said.
come
Yeah.
into play here. The American government, for the first time in the last, I think HR 40 might be what, 8 years old, right? But they are starting to at least put on paper, yeah, there is some validity to this argument. So I'm saying instead of shooting ourselves in the foot, worrying about statute of limitations that white folk ain't even worried about. They're literally putting on paper, all right, yeah, it's valid. We looking at it, right? So this is something we could potentially win. My thing is, it's all going to be about the argument that we could present. That's what's going to determine what we can get. It's not about what we deserve, right? We deserve the world. But if we're asking the US government for something, we got to bring an argument we can win. And that's when I started thinking about, well, maybe if we piecemeal this,
okay.
But the thing is,
and I'm gonna
they
land here,
always
I'm gonna
been
land here,
studying it.
I'm
They've
gonna
been
land here.
studying since the 70s, brother.
Hold up, I'm gonna
You know
land
what
here.
I'm saying?
That's a fact. That's a fact. But what I'm saying is, if we start to piecemeal it, right, and win the fights we can win, education is a fight that I think we could easily win. It would be hard to say with everything they say black people don't deserve. I don't even think white people would argue that education is one of those things that holds us back, right? And we can make a clear argument for how the US government was involved right, in holding us back in terms of education. We get that documented, we shoot for the next goal.
Hey,
You
can I
get what
say
I'm
something real
saying?
quick, brother? Quantum. I think that's Quantum. Yeah, you got a good idea about the education part, healthcare. You know, like it need to be a restitution package deal, not just the monies. So infrastructure. I mean, that's a lot to ask for. And but I don't know about the idea of us just taking it. I mean, we don't have weapons. We don't have tanks. Who's going to be our allies?
Yeah, we
So
outnumbered in this country.
yeah, I mean, we basically prisoners up in here, man. But
We're
I mean,
not
we
prisoners.
gotta
I'm
go
not
talk
gonna say
about this.
that, but we're outnumbered. We're a minority people.
Yeah, I think you got to update your information though, because I'll keep looking at it. Statute of limitations, law, that reparation argument's an old one.
Yo,
So
bro,
it
ain't
said
no statute of limitations
so
on reparations, bro.
Johnny Cochran, his argument, right? It says Alexander versus Oklahoma. That was the one it's based off of the he's using the massacre 1921 massacre as cause for wash your bail.
Right.
Hmm. So I'm just saying, brother, it seems to be a
Yeah,
expiration.
but you know what it is? It's brothers that always see them the ones that count on it. Oh, we'll never get it. Oh man, forget about it. While everybody
So
else
it
getting it.
says, so it says
You
Hey,
there's a
got a
while
it's called
point.
everybody else,
it's
brother,
called the
while everybody
John
else
Hope
getting it.
it's called the
While
John
everybody
Hope
else getting
Franklin
it, you
Act.
want
We
to
should be
get
focused on what we could get instead of focusing on shooting ourselves in the foot, talking
yeah,
about statute of
but
limitations.
Yeah, I wouldn't even worry
if we
about
in
no
the
damn
meeting,
reparation.
we
This
don't need things like King J in the meeting because he is a
Chill,
doubter.
bro.
I'd be like,
I'm a
man, fuck
doubter
them
too,
young
so add
fuckers.
me to the list. I ain't there with you, Shit, I ain't getting
You
that.
want to start none of the business, man.
One
Get
set,
in the
me
ring. Get in the ring.
But
You
hold on,
acting
I'm
like
about to
Simon.
drop off. But hold on, and peace to
Yeah.
all
Come
of
on,
y'all, right?
bro.
I'm about to drop off. But my
most
reason for
definitely.
bringing that up is when I hear a lot of our conversations and we get stuck in Kemet, we get stuck in the Levant, right? Like the
Mm-hmm.
question I started to ask myself was, how can we apply this in real time outside of what I've benefited from, what I know? I know how great our people were, right? We built ourselves up with that information. But when it comes to things that are tangible, like reparations, we got to get more up to date in our argument. And that is only going to come from a dive into Black American history, the same way we dived into Kemet, the same way we dived into the Levant and everything else, right? There's enough in our history in the last 200 years to make our arguments with the fights that'll be tangible. Reparations is not going to come from Kemet or anything that Greeks and Europeans did 1,000 years ago. It's going to come from legal precedent from things like Plessy versus Ferguson.
We
From
agree.
yeah, so that was my reason, and I ain't mean to steer the conversation, away from where y'all was going.
Yes,
But
you
it's
did.
something that I've been wanting to present to brothers who I respect that study things where I'm saying, yeah, I know this information as well. I'm not going to fight you on it, but I don't think it's effective in our fight now. Maybe we should be looking at that. And by that, I mean, our current history.
All right, bro.
Yeah, we get it. Every time somebody talks about Kemet, people get a certain way and they have to act a certain way. We get that.
I think a lot of this, as far as like studying history, personally for me, is for personal growth. And like you
Mhm.
said, Wall Street, like it's education. I think this is a part that is very important as well,
I
man.
agree.
And for me, again, personally, I love ancient history because of what it provided for me for my personal growth and how I see the world. It changes your perspective on a lot of things that
It
you
built
once
all of
felt
us
that was
as
true.
men. I
Yeah.
agree.
So I think that's important. Like you said, but I don't think it should only be, we should also include these conversations about our modern history as well, our current closest history as well. So I definitely agree, brother.
Hmm.
Definitely. We definitely be talking about, what I'm saying? We ain't no damn indigenous Indians. So, we be on. All right, y'all. We're gonna get up out of here. I think Humble says time. So you guys have a good night. I'm out.
All right, wait
I
a
got the
minute, y'all. Before y'all get
notifications
out of
on.
here,
I'm gonna pop out.
though, hold on one second. Before y'all get out of here, hey,
It's time to go.
oh yeah, listen, everybody dropping off. I didn't know. Listen, I supposed to been
A1 just woke
45
up.
minutes ago to eat
I
dinner
did
with
just
my
wake
wife.
up.
But what we're gonna do is though we're gonna give everybody closing remarks, starting with Brother Hercules, going on up to Brother A1. And if Brother A1, if if we shut this down and you feel like running something else, if you feel like going to another panel, most definitely let me know. I'll be over there. And so go ahead, Brother Hercules.
No, I definitely agree, man. We definitely we deserve reparations. I just feel that if it was going to happen, that shit would have been happened. I think blood debts got to be repaid in blood. You know, and the reason we study our past, our history is because it helps us to move forward. Just like the Europeans, people from Britain don't claim to be Greek, but they still study the Greek philosophers and stuff like that. Same thing with the Chinese and stuff. The ancient China history. They do all that stuff. So we we definitely Kemet is our the zenith of the Black civilization. So we got to study it, look at it, research it more because it's funny. Remember Tony Browder said that he's the only Black American, the only African person, African descendant person, only Black person that was in Egypt doing research, archaeology dig. Everybody else was from all over the planet. There was no other Black people. And it's crazy. Like, why is every other group of people over there studying, digging up our past? So it must be something to it. It must be something to it. So yeah, all right, you guys. So it's a good conversation. You know what I'm saying? See you guys around.
Peace,
and
family.
y'all have a good night, man.
Most definitely.
Peace.
You next, Wall Street.
So my argument is this, right? Like, as beautiful as Kemet is and it being a part of our history, for me personally, it's taken me as far as I believe that portion of our history can go, right? It has instilled in me that, the white man didn't create everything, and I do come from something that is strong. But what I'm saying is, we gotta refine our arguments and redirect our focus, right? And where this whole thing came from me, one of my homies pressed me on Saturday. Yeah, you know what today is? What's today, nigga? Saturday. Like, no, this is the day that Malcolm X was assassinated, right? I said, damn, you got me there, bro. And that kind of locked in that we don't focus on the undeniable history that we can verify, that's a part of who we are today. And I'm saying, if we start the conversation from where we are now and go backwards, we could probably have more benefit in the things we're actually fighting for than to start all the way 6,000 years ago. And then we're going to all argue about what happened 6,000 years ago rather than accept we know Plessy versus Ferguson was a thing. So I'm just saying we might need to refine, and I'll land here. I'm not diminishing the value in understanding our African history, our lineage, and the greatness there, right? But what I've started to see is we argue over it more than we agree on it. When it comes to things closer to our history, right? Like closer to now, we got people who are alive during separate but equal, right? We got grandparents that lived through that. These are things can't be denied. We can verify. And these will play into the arguments that can be tangible and put some bread in our pocket or give our kids a free education. You got me, and I'll end there.
Hey.
Most definitely. We appreciate that. Go
Hey,
ahead, Brother Tahuti.
every time we hear you, Wall Street with it.
Yeah, pretty much. I
Dang.
just
I don't pop
I just want to say
out
we
enough, A1.
really gotta
I'm
lock
outside, though.
in.
Go ahead, Tootie. I'm sorry.
We really gotta lock in. First and foremost, we have to come to realize that if we're going to reference a certain scholar, we got to know what they say. And if we represent Kemet, we got to actually do it in a correct way to where we're not saying that we represent things and then we all of a sudden we just disagreeable with every little thing about Kemet. And then another thing is too, we got to get a little bit more serious about remembering the past so we can get to where we're going in the future, because it's very disingenuous for somebody that asks, well, why is Kemet important for this result, when the whole reason was they wanted to come up here and ask that question just because they have an ulterior motive to be antagonistic towards Kemet. So a lot of it, we just got to lock in. We got to come to terms. We got to heal as well. We got to come. We got to look at each other. We got to heal so we can get in the right direction. I'm done.
Most definitely, amazing. Um, came up. I appreciate y'all. Y'all already know. Brother Tahuti, brother Hurt. Who else? Who else was up here, man? A couple other brothers was up here. And as always, man, it's always a great, spawn in the ring when we get to come up here and share our information. His brother Ben Eaton as well was up here. And I just want to shout out brother A1, shout out everybody for coming through, supporting as always, sharing a live, being engaging in the comments. And it's listen, it's just fun always. It's always having a great time. And I'm gonna end with this. Welcome back, brother A1. That nigga A1 was gone for like 3 hours. So
I wouldn't go for 3 hours. I fell asleep for like
you
probably
fell
like an
asleep
hour.
20 minutes. Yeah, an hour, 20 minutes wasn't bad. It was amazing though. It was amazing though.
I know. I see it
Do
turn.
you want to go in, or do you want to get a word from our sponsors and then go in?
I'll go in. I'll go to a word from our sponsors real quick. Let me do that. I don't think I have any of the new commercials loaded. I'll just play the Cash App. Let's pause the noise for a second, because if you're still here right now, you're already different. Not everyone gets this. Not everyone understands real debate, real scholarship, real intellectual smoke. But you do. This is Coliseum of Arguments. This is Titans Debate League. And what happens here doesn't survive on algorithms. It survives on the people who believe in it. When you support through Cash App, you're not just donating. You're fueling the arena. You're the reason we can bring in high-level guests. You're the reason we keep unbiased judges. You're the reason these debates stay sharp, fair, and uncompromised. This platform is built by thinkers, sustained by supporters, protected by the ones who know value when they see it. If this show has ever sharpened your mind, has ever entertained you, or has ever challenged what you thought you knew, then Cash App is how you say, keep this going. Not everyone contributes, but the ones who do, they're part of what makes this real. Coliseum of Arguments, Titans Debate League, powered by the people who get it. Yes. Shout out everybody in the chat. I'll go through real quick before I close out. Shout out Truth the Only Divinity. Shout out Ben Eat, and shout out Open to Knowledge OTK. I don't know if you're doing anything tonight. If you want to crank something up, or if you got something going, I might come over and join yours. Shout out Michigan's Natural Living. I woke up to a $20 super chat. I appreciate it, brother. You already know. Who else we got? Michigan's Natural Living. After that says peace, A1, peace to the panel. Shout out you, Michigan's Natural Living, man. Been supporting since day one. We got Yara in the building. Yes, Yara pulled through. Can't forget about him. Marcus Shaw, shout out you. FYJ Entertainment. Fatima, shout out Fatima. Shout out the whole Nubian squad. Yeah. Robert Greenleaf. We got Caesar Ortega in the building. Okay, yeah, he pulled up. We had Josiah pull up. Issa Queen was in here. Okay, man, I'll just keep it short and brief. Before we close, I'll just say this. I love this. I love my scholars. I love my host. I love the information that we continue to bring every day. I love the build. I love the hunger for truth. This platform isn't about clout. It's about information. It's about sharpening our minds. It's about feeding our spirits. What my one homie always say, edifying. Like, are you doing this to edify? Kemet taught us that knowledge is sacred and wisdom is divine. So The pursuit of truth is our duty here at Coliseum of Arguments at Titans Debate League. And every time we come together, we challenge ideas and we elevate the conversation. And we honor that legacy. Shout out to everybody who paved the way for platforms like me to exist. Shout out all the elders in the community who have been popping up. We really appreciate your wisdom and you sharing. And to all my young scholars, keep studying, keep questioning, keep rising, because the OGs and the elders are on your neck. They are watching very closely, and they are breaking down this information and deciding whether you guys are pseudo or you guys are really the truth. So, salute to everybody who's working hard to bring some new information to the table. We appreciate you here. And, my motto, treat your smile like your money and never let them steal it. With that being said, we're going to end out with the song by Connie's son. Wait, did you get your outro?
Before I get the hotel, it's
Humble, did you do yours?
No.
Go ahead, do yours. My bad. I'm about to get up.
Hold on. Outro. Oh, hold up. Let me see. Give me 1 sec. I got you.
I was talking about, did you say your piece, your closing remarks? Are you about to play a song or something?
Yeah, I got my closing remarks out.
Hey.
It's Saturday, March 8th. History steps into the arena, only on the Coliseum of Arguments, hosted by Titans Debate League. It's the clash of cosmic proportions. In one corner, the smooth strategist, the verbal tactician, the man who bends rhythm into reason, suave boss. And in the opposing corner, the architect of quantumoliism, the philosopher of the infinite, the mind that dares to question reality itself, quantum truth. The question shaking the pillars of existence: does Mother Nature need Father Time to exist? Is nature eternal? Is time the necessary foundation of all things? Or are we witnessing the collapse of a cosmic illusion? Two titans, one stage, no escape from logic. Saturday, March 8th, only in the Coliseum of Arguments. Enter the arena and witness eternity on trial. Are you not entertained?
Back to you, Humble.
I'm here, y'all. We got some in the background. We just gonna throw this up real quick, and then you just want to end out with the song after we throw this up right here. Hold on, we're just gonna throw this up right here. Y'all still in here, man. Make sure y'all donate. Make sure y'all support, man. We love doing this. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's because of y'all support that we do this, and that we're even able to have a voice that we're able to have. You know? Oh, this got a song to it.
I just put a beat in the background, but I really want to put something else. I don't feel like it go with it.
Okay, I was about to say, oh snap.
Oh no, it stopped. Yeah, I think it need a song or something.
Yeah.
So I kept pausing. But it's just something on there for now. I just threw something on there.
Alright. So most definitely. And then we just gonna exit out. Hold on 1 second, y'all. We gonna exit out with We're gonna exit out with the song, y'all.
Family all around me. Family all around me. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. We are family. We might have the same last name, but that don't make you my family. I got some people with the same blood, and I know that they can't stand me. I got some people I call that ain't kin, that's gonna pull up and handle it. They take care of that business like family. We come from them trenches like family. They talking, you listen, that's family. They don't tell your business, that's family. They calling your phone, coming looking for you. They say that you missing, that's family. They don't need permission, that's family. When you hurt, they get feeling, that's family. Let them come while you're cheering, that's family. Let them come when you living, that's family. Family all around me. Family all around me. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. We are family all around me. Family all around me. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. We are family. Hey, ain't nobody fighting around here. Ain't nobody shooting around here. Everybody that's around here, family. All love, no hate, be clear. No shade, all love, be real. You love them, you should know how it feel. Tired of all these badass kids. Tired of paying all these bills. Family going through the same thing, so they know exactly how you feel. They supply a shoulder I can cry. I provide a place where they can heal. Leave my money out, they don't steal. Let them have it if it's for a bill. Soldier for me when they in the field. Only way I live. Family all around me. Family all around me. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. We are family all around me.